start to flow, oh baby, please don't go. But now it's all becoming clear to me that if we're truly even meant to be, our love won't fade and I will break free from all this pain, tearing down all the walls like a mighty hurricane. It's clear to me that if we're truly even meant to be, our love won't fade and I will break free from all this pain, tearing down all the walls like a mighty hurricane. Flowers start to dance, welcoming the springtime. The fields endless, summer's bringing all the sunshine. Dancing moonlight, just wishing you were here this autumn night. Should winter arrive, I'll still be waiting for a sign. Baby, let's dance all throughout the springtime. Fields are already lit, the summer's bringing all the sunshine. Dancing moonlight, just wishing you were here this autumn night. Should winter arrive, I'll still be waiting for a sign. The sun will rise and we'll bid farewell to forever. All our happiness will only be a dream. Oh darling, won't you stay with me? 'Cause all these seasons aren't the same without you. In the darkest times you'd always light the way. So darling, won't you stay? There is someone crying so many tears, choking them back, holding them back. Shake off all the hatred in your heart. You can give it the strength. Show you might not hear it. The hero needs more than just power. There is much more to life. Let yourself be alright. Although I'm small, I'll make it through it all. All those things that I've ever loved, and all the curses that I've been put through. You'll feel the weight of falling in love. Give me the light to shine on what I'm proud of. Shake off all the hatred in your heart. You can give it the strength. Sure, you might not hear it. The hero needs more than just power. There is much more to life. Let yourself be alright. The shadow closing in is asking, what are you?
Oh, it ended a minute earlier. My calculations were off. So DA is not here yet. Neji, I'm still shocked by that name.
Oh yeah, simp time.
There's nobody simping for Naruto. Thank you, Blaze, for re-upping to the bum. Nobody simping for this series, at least not these days. Back in the day, sure. But it feels like a lot of people, it feels like it's about to be that Demon Slayer, or Demon Slayer is about to be in the same trajectory, where it was so hot, so hype, and then once that hype started dying down a little bit for whatever reason, people are going, hey,
wait a second.
maybe this isn't as good as we thought.
Now that, as we said, way back in the day, and constant times when things start catching up animation-wise, well, it's not going to be special anymore, and then it's going to have to stand on its own 2 feet.
It's so lucky that there's not like one more arc for Demon Slayer pre the ending where it's just
Nami
all
the
these
Goat
big
says,
fights and stuff.
You ready for solo leveling to win Anime of the Year?
It's for sure gonna do that. Thank you, Jinx, for re-upping to the bombs. Yeah, whatever. Madara, why are you trying not to laugh, bro? That's so disrespectful. We're at war, bro. The thumbnail. Hi. Shrimpo, thank you for re-upping to the bums. Jesus Christ, 20-something months? How many months? 28? What are we doing out here? Well, we're here now and it's Naruto time. What's up, Scammer BG and SimDA? BG has permanently earned the Scammer title for the Harry Potter bet. It was a mistake. A simple, dimple mistake.
Harry Potter bet?
So we had a bet of what house we were going to end up in. And instead of select winner, I stopped and then selected winner, which does nothing.
No, that's a scam.
I just laid out what the mistake was. Deleted message. It was something about the triggered post, but it's from days ago. We already saw it. Apparently he's streaming Tuesday, maybe. And we'll see how things go. What are some of your favorite lies Usopp said that became true? That might be some homework. Talk to me with membership plays. I see. Negi
says, Weeb Commander is the biggest Boruto D-writer I've seen.
Boruto?
Yeah. No, they're big Boruto. Big fan.
How can you be a fan of Boruto?
Because it's good, and you.
There was such a pause before good.
It's you like Naruto and the feelings carry over.
They don't.
Or you like Naruto and the feelings don't carry over. And if the feelings carry over, even if you're getting 75% of that feeling, it's the Dragon Ball Super thing.
That's how we do it, Corey. Not my fault. You have
I was getting water for the stream.
BG, can you tell Mike to look at the full design of Skullgreymon, blah, 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 and then check out Digimon X Godzilla crossover? Sure, I'll tell Mike that. In fact, I will take a picture and send it directly to him right now. So that's your mail.
How do you feel about the Egghead One Piece opening and Sanji treatment in the anime? I said in the Discord, but the visuals are good and the song is okay. It's a B tier.
I haven't even heard it yet.
And Sanji was taken out of a couple scenes, and it's more of the simp thing in certain scenes. It is what it is. You know, it's nobody's gonna be a fan of Sanji some 1,100 episodes in.
You're in, you're out.
And they're like, oh no, they took him out of this one big group shot. It's like, whatever.
Drop the video. Someone send me a membership.
Says, are you ready for the biggest Naruto blob jobs?
Oh, for sure this is about to be unending blowies.
That's what it's all about.
Can we get some T23? Nami, you got a membership from the Triggy video. Wait, I have one cool Naruto video. Yo, will Det get a membership this stream? Who knows? I got mine from the Redacted stream. They avoided T23 like the plague. Are y'all unironically defending CBR? Should we try for Det again? Solo
it
leveling
won't be
mode?
defending CVR. It will be going against this guy's justifications.
I don't like what Toei did with Sanji in the anime. Boruto is fantastic.
Yep, that's fine.
Boruto's alright. If you got a gambling addiction, go ahead, Getting water, you went to your car, brother.
Well, I also went to my car. But then I came back and I did what? I got water.
There you go. I guess he showed
My
you.
backup cam was just blinking out, and I was just making sure it was cool, which it was, thankfully. I don't know what happened there, but it's cool now.
I'm enjoying the time skip for Boruto. I'm trying to get back into Boruto, and the first page of the chapter I'm on is just Samurai 8 level text, and I give up. Team Neji or Team Negi?
Neji.
Okay. We need solo leveling month. Everyone wants us to do solo leveling. Maybe I'll watch solo leveling.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you,
Roll them
Jinx, for the
balls.
10 gifted big ups, Norville.
Roll.
Korayami.
Oh no. Not
Oracle.
like this. Not like this.
One True King.
It's comical at this point.
Dad, what did you do? Thank you again, Jinx, for the 10. I don't know.
What can you do at this point? It is at
Team Morris says,
89 members.
90.
Okay, it's still going. I don't know at this point.
Thank you, Isaiah, for re-upping to the Holy. Like, again, we've got nothing.
Yeah, I don't.
Alright,
It's funnier if it just doesn't happen.
ever!
Honestly.
He's gonna have to drop $1 of his own.
Soon this is gonna be like in 1,500 members. Congratulations, Mr. Beast, for becoming members. Like, what the
Okay. Oh, wow. A lot of names today. A lot of names. Yep. And this will be the last one, I think, because I never count Corey, because he's a piece of what's up, Gabo, Million, Shrimpo, Hope, Jinx, Priscilla, One Smart, Fighting Gimmick, Fatalist, Det, Jay, High, Blaze, Curry, Ruby, Virent, Nami the Goat, Devil Elf, Joey Jojo, Racketeer, Anko, Axel Gray, Victory Greymon. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Yeah, let's just get into the video, I guess. We all know our boy.
What do you mean we won't let you do Corey Month? There's nothing stopping you from doing Corey Month. You're the guy.
This is a secondary channel of Weeb Commander. I don't know.
I think it's the
what's
first. I think it's the first channel. Because this one has more subscribers. But that doesn't mean it's the primary.
Racketeer says, Det, we're complicit in 9/11?
Sure. No description, boys.
Weeb Commander was 2 years ago. This channel was 4 years ago.
So he started with this one, moved over to Weeb Commander.
So you were incorrect.
Okay, so maybe this channel was the original and he was just a Naruto boy. But then you could just rebrand your channel.
No. If you want just Naruto, come here. If you want something else, go on over there.
But then Naruto's over there.
Yes, and that's the problem.
Never forget
He's got
Zaz.
two
Zaz big up.
good G Fuel flavors, two of the best. Kamehameha and Sage Mode. Those are 2 top 5 flavors. I'll say the man got taste.
Okay, DA. Yeah, so this is 15 things about Naruto that makes no sense. Ellipses. Debunked. Yeah, this is
I tried
basically...
to get a debunked emote. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's fair. This is basically his version of Revisited. It's gonna be edited, I'm sure, more tightly, and he's probably gonna read the article as opposed to watch the video. But yeah. Well, let's just get into it.
We know we're getting that hot. Well, why didn't nobody take care of Naruto? And that's what I'm waiting for.
This is a super long one, so we're skipping ones that we don't give a shit about. Like Donzo's in here somewhere.
Any description, boys?
I just said no description.
I wasn't paying attention.
Clearly.
For obvious reasons.
What happened to Nux Month? What do you want us to do? It's not woke. Like, that's all he is now.
Loving Naruto is complicated. See, because people's love of Naruto falls along a spectrum. They're the casual enjoyer.
I don't care. You shouldn't be.
Everything I've said until this point is from an objective standpoint.
You shouldn't
Fighting
care
Limit
about
says,
what other people would.
Come on, Tanya, you gotta help Saz find his membership.
He got his membership. He got his. But no, I don't. It's like, oh, it's complicated. Some people think like I don't care what some people think.
On top of that, it's all fandoms.
Yeah.
All fandoms have casual viewers and enjoyers. They have the hardcore.
They have
the
people that
in-between.
love everything. They have people that hate everything. They have people that like certain things. Yeah, it's meaningless.
Enjoyers of Naruto who watched it once, loved it, and then moved on with their lives. There are the hateful enjoyers of Naruto who watched it, didn't enjoy the ending.
The
I
shaky
forgot
cam,
how much I hate his earthquake plug in shaky cam.
TikTok movement on the screen, kids.
And decided to pick it apart for the rest of their lives. And then, well, there's the people like me. The people who walk the somewhat arduous tightrope of loving Naruto as one of the greatest pieces of fiction of all time, while still understanding.
What? Fiction?
Yep. Of all time.
In the history of the centuries of fiction?
But go back 5 seconds. If we look at his figures, he got Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball, Naruto, ReZero, Naruto.
It looks like Fairy Tail, maybe?
Star Wars. Like this dude ain't
This dude is crazy. Pokemon.
The greatest is crazy.
The somewhat arduous tightrope
Kaz
of loving
Aldana
Naruto.
says, and now it's you who is Naruto's favorite slut.
Naruto is one of the greatest pieces of fiction of all time, while still understanding that it's a pretty massively flawed piece of content. And in a sense, I believe that that's the highest form of love I could ever give to Naruto. I acknowledge its flaws while still holding a massive amount of love for it. But what are those
You just
flaws
saw
that I
Corey.
choose?
That is nothing to outside of the people who are just like everything is perfect in this
Yes.
thing that I like. That it should be basic human
Media
expectations.
consumption
Yes.
and analysis.
This thing is not perfect. There's nothing to praise about the fact that you're like, yes, this has problems, and I still love it.
To accept while still loving Naruto? Well, unfortunately, there's a lot. But today, we're going to talk about just 15 of them. See, because recently, while checking my email, I realized I was sent an article written by CBR a week ago, titled,
Who sent you this?
Okay, I was about to
article?
say maybe it was a fan because I'm like, is CBR sending out articles? Are they that hard up?
As a man that wrote for an adjacent thing, they don't send out articles.
15 things about Naruto Shippuden that just don't make sense. And while my initial thought upon seeing this article was,
Oh, I'm gonna debunk this article and make myself look real good as the best Naruto fan on Earth.
unfortunately, they made some good points. And as I believe these are legitimately
Everything
the 15
should
biggest
be.
gripes with Naruto as a story, today I want to break down these 15 complaints and talk about whether or not I believe them to be valid. So while yes, today I am going to be debunking a couple of these things that make no sense, unfortunately I'm
CBR,
going to be
it's easy content. That's why people think that it's good.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, easy list stuff, easy things that you miss,
It's
greatest
in-
transformations in Dragon Ball type stuff.
It's engagement farming. It's the same thing you'll see on Twitter where people are like, X greater sign Y. Or this
R.
is one of
Aries
the,
Queen
what's
says,
the best scene in
Naruto
blah.
pain speech is the most underscore iconic in human history.
Never forget.
Yeah, so it's just...
More so than Martin Luther King. Get out of here.
Rosa Parks sitting on a bus. Abraham Lincoln sucking.
Agreeing with a couple of them as well. Because today, we're talking 15 things in Naruto.
And this is also another thing. These people do not... The editors don't really care.
Yeah, no, we saw that with the Neji thing. It's
But-
shonen is misspelled.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to. Like, it's such a you gotta pump out content. They don't really check for like minor spelling errors and all of that stuff. They just want the verbiage to be correct and the formatting to be correct, so they can interchange you with any other author.
Shnin. Shnin.
Shnin.
That make no sense. But before we get into that, guys, please, for me, like the video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. This article is written by an author by the name of Jenny Melzer from CBR. And right off the back, unfortunately, Jenny, within quite literally the first 6 words of this article, we got a misspelling. Shonen has an O. What you typed was shinin. Now, rather perplexingly, for some reason, in this 15 things about Naruto Shippuden that make no sense article, the first thing that we start talking
Go back
about
to
is
what?
about...
Yeah, go back to what? This is part of the issue. A lot of times, you grab an article or assigned an article, and you have no clue what it's about. I remember I hadn't played like Psychonauts 2 or something yet, and I had to write an article about it. And this person may just have like tangential information about it. I don't know what they're going through.
How it's not uncommon for shinin anime to be brimming with filler episodes. At which point we just start talking about how bad filler episodes are for the pacing of anime. Within
Yes.
No, that's stupid. Why you started with that?
Dude,
This is about...
again, you have a like 2-day deadline from the time you get this article, and you just have to fill up that word count.
Absolutely, but you can... No anime is perfect. Do the thing that he did instead of just going filler. Like, what does filler matter?
It just has to be, I'm telling you, it was not great times.
go on to talk about how these storylines sometimes create inconsistencies that leave fans scratching their heads. And unfortunately, Jenny, I gotta disagree with you here. No one is confused by filler episodes. We know they're filler episodes.
Oh, no. Not everybody knew that filler episodes were filler episodes. When I was getting into Bleach, I didn't know the Battle arc was a filler episode.
Black
Filler
says,
arc. Just thought it was the next
Naruto is
arc.
the best SHNEN.
Didn't even try, robot lady. What are you doing? The state of you. Yeah, back when the first filler arc in Naruto is that race with the boat and whatever. And I was just like, this is boring, and I just skipped it. I didn't know it was filler. I was just like, yeah, I don't care.
Like Dragon Ball Z stuff back in the day, like there's so few things we recognize as quote unquote filler. Nowadays, sure, but like I didn't know Warship Island arc was filler. When I was watching One Piece, I didn't know the crew forgets everybody was filler.
Corey, I will beat you to death with a shoe. Do not.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That was trash.
A lot of people, Marx thought that filler was canon because they didn't know any better. Again, nowadays, sure, you can look things up and go, "Oh, this is filler," blah blah. But back in the day with Naruto, who the knew this?
I skipped that one, and I went back to watch the Bount arc. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, just to see how bad it was. I didn't watch the Bount arc as it was coming out because I missed the Bleach train completely.
I didn't know the GA arc was filler, but was unironically good. Pretty good. The boat race was absolutely
Y'all are
unironically good.
crazy.
The boat arc was pretty
Y'all
good.
just trolling, and I don't appreciate that.
They're not canon. Nobody's watching a filler episode and going, I wonder how this plays into the manga story.
No, but what if you're watching Naruto and you don't have that here are the filler guys thing, and the boat race, which is trash, comes up, you don't know that it's filler.
Yeah,
There's nothing indicating that it will be filler or not. It's just another mission from your eyes. And if you're just going, oh, missions aren't canon, and I guess Zabuza, you could go into Naruto and be like, maybe this is, or maybe it isn't, because it may or may not tie into the direct storyline of Naruto.
Also love that this article was updated by a different author by the name of Christy Matthew, which was undoubtedly backtracking from all of the hate that this article was getting. And that backtracking was, Naruto is an incredible series and a very long story that includes multiple characters in their own storylines, giving fans an in-depth story of
This
every
includes multiple.
This is worthless content, dude. But again, it's made to be worthless content. Nobody's supposed to be taking these things
There are
seriously.
multiple characters in this month.
It's literally consumed.
character. The show is bound to have some plot holes with so many characters and story arcs. This list has been updated with more entries and includes various plot holes from the Naruto universe. This list also adheres to the current standards of CBR. Because that's what happens when you poke an anime community. Unfortunately, you get riddled with hate and vitriol so much that eventually somebody else has to step in to pedal back your
Obvious reasons.
Thank you, Aries, for the super chat. The Shidori and the Rescind
King
gun.
says, multiple character. Are they good? Multiple.
Multiple. What's the problem?
I was just listening to that second volume recently. There's so many.
Y'all saying that this foot race bush is good. It's killing.
Did you really?
I'm like, are we thinking about the same thing? And we are. Y'all crazy.
Victory Greymon, Mike said it's sick, so he's probably in for it.
Work. But enough about all of that. Let's
It also
get into these
depends on the
15
placement of the filler, because Bleach literally puts whole filler arcs right in between, right before the captains attack Islands. Yep. A whole big old chunky filler.
Yeah, I mean,
there's filler within episodes.
How would I ever think that Garlic Jr. Saga was the thing, a filler arc as a kid?
Yeah, we went back into the hospital. Yeah, we just have to get him back in the same place. So he's laying there traumatized. It's like, oh, it's from that boat boy. Not the... It's so stupid. And it was only like 5 episodes. Just don't have it.
Or have it. You're telling me people get paid to make all these typos? Yes. Because you still click the article. They don't care. That's all they want. They want the headline. They want you to scroll through, and they want to go, oh, what's the list say? Number 12? That makes no. And then they get engagement. That's all they care about. They care about what's it called? SEO.
Inconsistencies. Up, we got, how is one of the series' most powerful Hokages dead? Hashirama Senju's absence from the story is a bizarre oversight. And here's the thing, from title alone here, boy, is that a dumb gripe. The article goes on to say that
I don't think so. I think that it is a perfectly justifiable question because you just go, okay, he wasn't killed in battle because he had no equals other than Madara, who was dead at the time. Mm-hmm. There was no, like, he died of old age. There's nothing like that. He just kind of dropped. The best thing that I've heard was that the cellular regeneration that Tsunade does shortens your life because it's eating up your limited amount of cells.
But she's a super old lady of the same age as Jiraiya, so...
Jay says,
hey, maybe she's gonna drop.
He died to ninja AIDS.
Ninja AIDS. Yes, absolutely.
Never forget.
But yes, he's one of the most powerful. How did he die? I think that is a perfectly justifiable thing to wonder about.
Yeah. I don't think it necessarily, quote unquote, makes no sense, but it's definitely something that is worth inquiring.
Considering his resurrected corpse looks young, that raises questions. Yep, because Hiruzen was old when he died, and he came back as an old man. So yes, you come back as the age that you were when you died, so he was younger looking. So it raises questions, and it's perfectly justifiable. It's perfectly fine to be like, hey, yo, what happened to the strongest muff in history up until Naruto?
Doubt from a historical perspective that Hashirama Senju is one of the most powerful ninja in the history of the Hidden Leaf. Not only was he the founder of the village hidden in the leaves, and its first...
Get them numbers up. Get them numbers up. We know who this muff is, but I gotta write some...
Yeah, dude, it's legitimately, I gotta write some... You gotta have... the opening statement and then whatever you're talking about in regards to it every time.
Okay, but he set the standard for every Hokage and ninja who
sometimes
came
filler
after.
becomes canon, like 9 is canon in My Hero Academia, or Invincible Memory of Nobody in Bleach. Yeah, they incorporate little things like that, and the My Hero films are always in a questionable canon position. I think they're considered canon unless outright contradicted in the manga or anime.
Detective Conan, I've mentioned this before, where 2 filler characters from the anime were placed into the manga and their romance became canon specifically because the mangaka liked the characters so much and their will they, won't they. And fans were so into them.
525 says, canon adjacent.
Yeah, canon adjacent is a good way to put it. But we'll get to what the points are. They'll explain what the points are. Hashirama Senju's hair blowing in the wind in Naruto. Why you need that caption?
For alt text, it needs to be for screen readers and people that can't.
That makes sense.
The village's most revered belief system, the will of fire. Still beyond a brief look at his early days with Madara and his resurrection.
Okay, I know we just watch videos and then talk about what's said in the video. I don't know if you need to read the article and then
especially
say
the parts that are not relevant to the point,
which are essentially the wiki.
During the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, not a lot is known about Hashirama, including how he died. He was the ultimate shinobi who was just as strong as Madara Uchiha. The article goes on to say, of course, were Hashirama still alive, he'd be old, but as far as fans know, the first Hokage just sort of disappeared after passing the torch to his brother, Tobirama. No one actually knows how or when he died, which is a major plot hole. And, no, it's not. Well, Hashirama is
It's not a plot hole, but it is something that is question worthy.
Yes. And it makes no sense in Naruto, because if it's just like there was somebody who was strong enough to defeat him, how did they do that? And why are they not revered as the person that killed Hashirama? So we can't say that happened unless they also just dropped dead off screen. But then somebody else would have had to take that title, unless they just choked on a piece of corn or something. In which case,
the long way.
So yeah, and if it's just the cellular mitosis thing, you just go, okay, maybe we have something with Tsunade where she's like, I shouldn't be using this because I use it too much. And it happened to my grandfather. It's just questions that could have been answered, and it wasn't. Especially when we see what he can do, all the stuff that he can do, all the reverence that he gets, and then he just disappears.
I think this article may have been taken down because I cannot find it.
No, it was not Kakuzu. Kakuzu fought him, and he was beaten soundly. Kakuzu was, fell down D stair.
Undoubtedly an important historical character in the fabric of the Naruto universe. That doesn't necessarily mean that we need to know how and when he died.
But isn't it weird that the second Hokage is the second Hokage?
Yes.
When he is the strongest, the second Hokage is
thank you, Ruby.
He's not the strongest as the first, straight up. I'm giving my man some props because he is the best Hokage, but he's factually not as strong as the first Hokage. So we have to ask, what happened to the first Hokage to put him in a position? Because he's in a position and then he passes that down to Hiruzen. So Hiruzen is only Hokage because the second is a Hokage, and the second is only the Hokage because the first was Hokage, but the first is just gone and we don't know why he's gone. So the entirety of Naruto happens essentially because the third passes on to the fourth, so it doesn't happen without all this happening, and we don't know why it happened. And I think it's justified to ask that. And this is not a good starting point because this is a question that you can ask, but he's just like, well, it doesn't need to be asked. And you as a fan should be like, yeah, why did that happen? And it's fine to ask that question.
We don't need to know the major villain death, who is very important in finale arc. Like, what are you talking about, Nick?
Man!
I was trying to
know that when he died, like you illustrated, he passed the torch to Tobirama, his brother, to become the second Hokage. But there are tons of characters whose deaths we do not fully understand. We know that Tobirama died in a...
Do you think that's a good thing?
No, let's hear these characters.
Battle against the Kinkaku force. Well, we didn't see his death.
But we know how he died! He got jumped! He was a distraction to get jumped! And it's fine that he's just like, I will die here to let you guys get away. Perfectly fine. They were just stronger than him. I don't need to see him getting stabbed in the throat. But there is the answer as opposed to the first Hokage. There is nothing but a question mark.
Third Hokage, objectively best Hokage.
Oh, big ups. I was ranting and I didn't see that.
Yeah, no. You gotta go. Like, it is what it is. Sorry. God, I'm gonna have to click it and give CBR a click. Oh, did they change it to Shippuden? Oh yeah, okay, they changed it to Shippuden, so
And
it's the same
they correct
article.
Shonen.
They fix some things up. All right, big ups them. So that's the article now.
Look at this snitch!
Unbelievable. What snitchery in our chat?
That's crazy!
Our brother!
Mostly because Tobirama and Hashirama lived almost 100 years prior to the events of Naruto. That's
Yes,
closer
if
to
they died of old age, that would be 100% fine, but he didn't.
Must just be asking for the time. That's the crazy part.
But still. And not only would Hashirama just be old if he survived the timeline of Naruto, here is it, who's in his late 60s, early 70s in part 1 of Naruto, got
Naruto because reasons when.
We're talking late summer.
We need to figure it out. That's all.
the mantle of the third Hokage during the First Great Shinobi World War, almost 45 to 50 years ago. Now, mind you, when Madara and Hashirama were 18, they were still fighting against each other in the warring state.
You're understanding. You're not disproving
At all.
what they said, correct? You're just kind of going. We've
That's not
seen
a problem.
other people die, so but we don't know the exact reasons for why they died. So not knowing the exact reason why this person didn't die isn't bad.
Period. After which Hashirama went on to be the first Hokage for roughly 25 years.
Yeah, Corey, you could be
Meaning
in
by
it.
the time of Hashirama's death, he was most likely in the region of 50 years old. Meaning you add another 50 to that, he would be 100 in part 1 of Naruto.
Fine, he died of old age. Fine, but that doesn't explain how he died. Another alternate universe where he did not die of mysterious ninja AIDS and lived to be 98 and died 2 years before Naruto was born. That doesn't disprove this article at all.
Did we miss a bad
50 years
edit?
old, meaning you add another 50 to that, he would be 100 in part 1 of Naruto. You want to know why he wasn't a more central part of the story? Because he was dead and had been for 5 decades.
The
Irrelevant.
article did not say why isn't he part of the story. It was how did he die? Reading comprehension.
Yeah, I guess
This month-
debunked.
This month he read it already before the. This is what I believe. He read it before the stream.
No, he absolutely did, because this feels like, if not absolutely scripted, but the type of scripted where, hey, here's your bullet points and you know what you're about to say.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is. He has it in his mind that it's just like, this is what I'm gonna say against this, and he's not taking it in as he's reading it again. He's just like, no, it doesn't matter because he'd be 100 years, so that's why he wasn't in it.
Time me.
Do y'all got a time fetish? I mean, we're all obliged, but yeah.
I don't know how Kinkaku and Ginkaku died. I don't know how the first through
Kengaku and Ginkaku does not matter.
Yeah. No.
They are not important central months to the story.
And the first Hokage is because of his
He
cell.
is so strong. Nobody's going, I'm the dude that took out Kengaku and Ginkaku. Nobody's doing that. But if somebody had taken out the first, that would be a mantle. Kakuzu was just like, I survived fighting the month in first. And that's notable. So it is perfect. And this dude, this is the first one.
Yeah.
Raikages died. Really? We
We
even
don't know nothing about you. Who are these people?
Who is this? I don't.
This dude sucks.
What Kage is this?
Mizu. That's just a guess. He looks watery.
What? He got drip and not in a good way.
I feel a presence of like water and jutsu from him.
What?
Press play.
names of the third Mizu or Kazu.
What? Look at me in my eyes. What? Excuse me? I'm sorry, DA. You know what's going on?
I'm not gonna.
You know what's up, DA?
I'm sorry. You understand Naruto to
Goat
such a degree.
emoji in chats? No, I don't deserve that at all. Please hold your goats.
It is unbelievable that you can take a glance at a man in Naruto and go, They are from this
Turmoil
village.
says, the third Hokage was 68 before he died. Why is it unreasonable that the first Hokage would live to 100?
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
68 and still amongst the strongest in the village, if not the strongest in the village. Tsunade is in her late 50s probably, early 60s, amongst the strongest. Jiraiya amongst the strongest. Orochimaru amongst the strongest. These mobs are old.
Oh, was Inoki. Inoki, the Rock Kage, was 79.
Like, what do we...
In Boruto, he's 100.
Oh! Homie threw a half-court shot and switched it.
5 Kages died. Really? We don't even know the names of the third Mizu or Kaze Kages. You go on to say, essentially, that even though the main story is about Naruto, there are so many side explorations and filler arcs that we might as well have done one about Hashirama. And I get that. I would also love
a sentence. Don't use cellular mitosis too much. You will die at an early age. His wife was the Jinchuriki, so it's just like the chakra was leaking at him and he didn't know radiation poison.
Whatever. To put that mother in the ground.
But just explaining it for the people that need it explained.
a filler arc about Hashirama. But a lot of the things that we did learn about Hashirama did actually come from filler episodes. The information was just so well integrated that most people don't know it was filler. But a filler arc or side exploration...
You just said that nobody's going, oh my god, is this filler or not? And now you're like, oh, this so integrated, Mubs don't even know if it's filler or not. Wait, it's been 5 minutes, brother.
That wasn't canon could never
he got the fox
how
slap.
Hashirama died, because that would augment the truth of the manga's story. So to call literally any of this a plot hole is insane. The next gripe we have
525 says, unlike those other Cage, the first Hokage's very cells performs miracles of science.
Yes, they do. You put a little bit of cells on him. He's like, oh, my arm's back. The dude he's a ninja angel. And he's just like, well, we don't know how the third Mizukage died. And that's my point.
Robot lady, how did you get Hokage but not Kage? You get Cage?
Yep, let's hear it. Let's hear it. He was out with the Akatsuki stuff. Okay,
no.
Let's hear it. Let's go.
Is why would Naruto's godfather leave him alone all those years? The article goes on to say that in Jiraiya's initial introduction, he was seemingly just a powerful wandering pervy sage that Naruto latched on to improve his skills, and finally proved himself to his rival, Sasuke. The article then continues a little later on by saying, well, it's all well and good as Shippuden progresses.
This is what you should have did for the first one.
Viewers learn that Jiraiya was sensei to the Akatsuki's most powerful weapon, pain. They also discover that he's been a team leader, mentor, and friend to Minato Namikaze, Naruto's father. This raised the question of Jiraiya's character and if he even cared about Naruto until he was of age. And thus the take-home gripe here is, so why didn't Jiraiya take Naruto with him, away from the Hidden Leaf, so he could train him and give him a sense of much-needed stability? To that question,
not necessarily.
Yeah, that's where he's gonna hone in and get it.
I have to ask, what stability would Naruto find on the road with Jiraiya?
What stability does he have at home?
Yeah.
Jiraiya is, if not one of the most accomplished ninjas in the history of the Leaf. He has completed more S-ranked missions than any other ninja in history.
Where are you getting this information from?
Also, what missions was he completing in the interim from Naruto being a baby to now?
How does this information pertain to Naruto? Why do we need to have this information but not how the first Hokage died?
What stability would he find with the literal strongest person here?
It's not like he's constantly being hunted. Not like he's constantly going out on missions. It's reconnaissance stuff where you can drop him off at a town and at least have him come back in a few days.
Because of this, Jiraiya is one of the wealthiest and most well-known ninja in Konoha history.
Pause.
Just because
wealthiest
says, Nick and CBR are fighting, and somehow CBR is winning.
Crazy.
This is like Nick fighting a sandbag and gets knocked out by the recoil of the sandbag from hitting it hard.
Legit crazy. But didn't send him back any money.
No.
Didn't go to visit.
Nope.
didn't check in on him to make sure he's being taken care of, didn't try to foster the Fox stuff like he did in the 2-year time skip, because he's like, the Akatsuki are coming, so he did have that knowledge about that all this time, or at least at a certain point in time. None of that? No, but stability.
He was successful doesn't mean that his life was stable.
Hey, he could have settled down.
Yes.
He could have been in Konoha, taking care of Naruto, and then when these super duper S ranks, you gotta go away for a while missions come, somebody else could have taken
Set
care
him
of
up
him
with
until
a
he comes.
babysitter with his infinite wealth.
There's so many options. He's only on the road all the time to write these books, really.
And the Akatsuki.
Yeah, nobody cares about them.
Jiraiya was taking on S-class mission after S-class mission, serving essentially as the cornerstone of Konoha, as the Shadow Hokage to Hiruzen. So where in that lifestyle does an infant Naruto fit into the equation? Listen, I get that Jiraiya was...
Hey, he's the secondary to Hiruzen, who was taking care of Naruto.
And like I said, this month is just zeroing in on this point. Not that the fact that Jiraiya was not in his life at all, but the fact that he couldn't take him on the road. Moving on.
Literally, who took care of Naruto in the baby and toddler
Just
phase?
said.
Literally, couldn't tell you.
Third Hokage could have taken care of Naruto.
Should
have.
It's
the
crazy.
worst part of this is he could have brought up that Naruto is not safe since Jiraiya does dangerous missions and can't stick around to pay for nothing. He's not going to bring up anything. Just asking random lore questions is not criticism. This is a criticism. Why isn't Jiraiya there?
Yes, obviously Naruto's god
Konoha?
fit into the equation. Listen, I get that Jiraiya was, yes, obviously Naruto's godfather because Naruto was named after a character in Jiraiya's books. But Jiraiya was also operating under the assumption that Hiruzen would do a good enough job.
Under the assumption. So don't check in for 12 years. Don't write a letter. Don't ask him. Don't come and see your godson. None of that. Just assume for 12 years as you're taking care of a different group of children.
I know. Yeah, that's crazy. That's the crazy part. I know that his father bequested me this task of taking care of him, but I can't do that. So I'm gonna have you take care of him.
You're the Hokage. I understand the mindset of you're the Hokage. You clearly are capable of handling responsibility. So yes, you will do this, but never ever for 12 years stepping foot into the village to see him, to take care of him, to talk to him, to tell him about his father. When you rock up and just go, this was the 4th Hokage's move. Didn't say your father.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's odd.
Naruto that he wouldn't have to check in with him. Now,
what? I know you're gonna do such a good job. I'm never gonna have to check on this kid.
Never, okay? And I will never inquire about him.
Hey, but here's the thing. It may not be necessary to ever check in on Naruto, but why don't you have the want to check in on Naruto?
A desire.
Why don't you have the desire to go see
your
the kid?
student son?
Oh yeah, sip time.
The only thing you're going is it wasn't necessary for Jiraiya.
Dark Heart of Hope says, also keeping in mind, also he knows about the fox. Wouldn't he want to check on the seal?
Wouldn't he want to? Because he instantly just went, this seal got f***ed up. Let me fix it real quick. It's a lot of things here where Jiraiya is just like, well, whatever. And this dude is just like, yeah, makes sense. It makes sense that one of the person with the most S-ranked missions is stupid enough to just go, I will bequeath this legitimate village killer to this dude in his old age, and I will never inquire further.
Oh dear, this makes Jiraiya look pretty lousy, doesn't it?
Looks pretty, I'd say.
It's still crazy the author wanted Naruto to be so lonely that I don't even know who changed his diaper.
No. They had in their mind Naruto is this character, and it just didn't think about it at all as somebody's out there changing a baby's diaper and just like, I really want to strangle this baby. But then Hiruzen on his dying brother just like, oh, the village is my family. I love this village who wanted to kill a baby. Like, okay, these don't correlate here.
Obviously, could Jiraiya have popped in occasionally to say hi to Naruto and make sure everything was okay and that his milk wasn't expired? Absolutely. But to say that Jiraiya should have taken Naruto out of the village the
Oh, you're attacking too much of the words.
Yes.
You should be going, yes, this is a good point. I wouldn't have.
I don't agree
The
with-
suggestion
Yes.
isn't good, but the point is good. You're trying to attack the suggestion itself as opposed to the point.
second he was
Aries
born to
Queen says, REMEBER, everyone, nobody here had it as bad as Naruto.
Nobody had it here as bad as
Big ups,
Naruto.
Clyde.
You think you suffered? Naruto suffered.
be raised on the road to inject some stability is wild.
Hey, Jiraiya took him on the road in the 2-year time skip and helped raise him.
That's fine. That's fine.
So why couldn't Naruto from the age of, let's say, 7
When you start ninja training,
be the same?
but he would have a dad, or at least a parental figure.
Do you think the story would have made more sense if the third Hokage was actually evil and was trying to make Naruto evil?
We said this before, but if he had just been like that muff and Fox stepped on my wife, so I have this lingering I know it wasn't you, but when I look at you, I see that darn Fox, and I can't separate that.
Yes.
That's all it would have taken.
So I'll keep you alive. Well, I'll make sure the people check in on you. But I never felt any type of love for you.
You will not get warmth from me. You are the ninja tool stuff. You're going to be born and bred for this purpose. But all this feelings, boys, no. Somebody else can handle
for
that.
2 years and only taught him a slightly bigger Rasengan. And then like day 2, he's back. They're like, hey, how about this super awesome way to train? Hey, it's almost like Jiraiya kind of sucked.
Hey, it's almost like Kishimoto really sucks.
What was Jiraiya supposed to do? Unclip his baby Bjorn to go fight against the Akatsuki?
Hey, who did that?
I mean,
Blame for
he can drop him off at a town. And when is he fighting the Akatsuki as in that 12-year time span?
Naruto's uprising lays with one person and one person alone, and that person is Hiruzen.
No, it is the entire village.
Including Jiraiya.
Including Jiraiya.
The person who promised a dying Minato and Kushina that he would keep a good eye on Naruto.
That was
But even
filler,
isn't
sir.
really the entirety of the answer. The real fault lies with the fact that Naruto wasn't simply placed in the Konoha orphanage
Racketeer
system.
says, why doesn't Naruto have secret multi-year missions that are basically massive operations that are of the highest priority, and Jiraiya was the best for the job? Maybe he could have busy with that.
There's so many things that could have been resolved with the Jiraiya thing. But even just, we need to put him into a position where he cannot take them. Mm-hmm. We can also address that. Make him horribly irresponsible. And the third was just like, no, he is not going out of this village with this dude.
Okay, why would the Fox child be put in the orphanage? Yeah, what happens if he rampages? Because we see what happens with Gaara.
These things should be addressed in the series, but they're just not.
Where an eye could have been kept on him and he could have been raised with other kids in similar situations. None of the people that were associated with
Who could keep an eye on Naruto if he foxes out?
They just have to hope that when he does fox out, he just does it in his apartment, and then we just get a peaceful, quiet death, I guess.
Minato or Kushina were in a position to take on a
How did people
giant.
know that he
Hiruzen
had
is
the fox? Donzo leaked it.
the third Hokage who had to step in for the fourth Hokage and make sure that Konoha wasn't being invaded for the fourth time,
He's
generating the
definitely
fourth
saying
Great
Konoha.
Shinobi World War he would have to fight through. Jiraiya was out completing some of the most important
was a
missions
bad
ever
cut.
given to a ninja, and Kakashi was a kid as well. The failing of Naruto's upbringing falls on way more people than just one.
Kakashi is 29 at the start of Naruto, if I'm not mistaken.
This one
He's
I
either
feel
29
like
or 27.
These niggas is cooking.
Oh, thank you, Triggs.
Kono Weebaroo. I forgot.
Oh, that knocked a smile off my face. 26 to 27. Take away 12 years, we're looking at 14, 15. At the start of Naruto. So if we add 3 years, a 3-year-old Naruto, 18-year-old, there's 18-year-olds who's in. When did he
Guardians.
leave?
As Aldonix says, I remind you that NCHammer has a video defending the third.
Oh no, simp time. Whenever he left the Anbu, He is now more available.
Yes. I feel like we can skip this one.
Let's hear what he has to say. But we can skip the explanation and the reading.
Her character deserved more. This is the best gripe yet. The article goes on.
Oh no, he agrees with it. It is unfounded, but it's a preteen girl crushing on the cool hot guy. There's nothing else needed there.
Kakashi left the Anbu at 19.
And
I feel like this is deja vu. I feel like you've read that stat before.
Probably. We've done at least 3 or 4 Naruto videos.
As far as this article goes, this is the best gripe yet. The article goes on to say that
I don't need all of this.
Yeah. She's a girl. He was a boy. Can I make it any more obvious? We can. Cool guy, whatever. Many of Shippuden's most powerful abilities seem poorly defined. Let's hear this.
that many of Shippuden's most powerful abilities seem poorly defined. Madara's use of Susanoo without actual eyes still doesn't make sense. And boy oh boy, in the early days of my TikTok career did I champion exactly for this take. Let's see what they have to say about this very controversial
That's like
awakening of
Shoko
the...
says. Wait, I know who changed Naruto diapers, the caretaker from the orphanage.
Where?
for Susanoo, while Madara had no eyes. They went on to say, for diehard fans understanding the complexities, on the other hand, example of this flawlessly. The fact that Madara can wield the Susanoo illustrated as requiring heroic action, it requires the loss of your best friend, which I wouldn't identify as heroic achievement or dedication. But let's continue.
Sasuke got it through dedication.
The article goes on to say, this not only flattens power scaling, but also undermines other characters who have had to work hard to master their own techniques. And to that I would say, but didn't Madara awaken the MS? Wouldn't that be an achievement that he had to work hard for, at least from your purview? And the final paragraph of this gripe is,
How?
for example, many of Sasuke's fights highlight the strain that using Susanoo causes on his eyesight, making Madara's casual use of it a narrative necessity rather than a development of sense. Now this right here is where this author is missing the point entirely. See, I also understand the curiosity as to how Madara was able to pull off a full-body Susanoo with no eyes. The going argument in the Naruto community is that because Madara has awoken to a dual MS...
And you see, the argument is that means that it was not explained in the manga or the anime, so it's a justifiable thing where, again, one of these things where the assumption can be made or the argument is 15 different people can have 15 different explanations and none of them could be right, or one of them could be right, or parts of them could be right, but that doesn't mean that this person going, hey, this doesn't make sense is wrong.
Wrong, you just have to feel the big sad to evolve the evil eyes.
There you go. Stop doing Skater Boy lyrics in the fake.
he will forever have the ability to use a Susanoo. A theory that's gained popularity
But,
after Sasuke.
okay, but is that true? Because if it's just like you start losing the ability as you lose your eyesight, why not just pop your eyes out and always have it? Because then there is no strength. Can you use the Amaterasu without your eyes? Why is it just the Susanoo once you awaken it? Because you awaken the Amaterasu and whatever your particular eye ability is. Mm-hmm. Can you also use that? Or is this just like an in-lane samurai that can just pop out of you at any point in time? And if you pop out your eyes, you no longer have blindness or strain.
He lost his 6-Tome Rinnegan with people hoping that he's still able to use his full-body Susanoo. And this moment seems solidified that Sasuke will still have his Susanoo. However, what's not solidified is whether or not...
We don't know that, so you can't be like it does or it doesn't. So this isn't a debunk by going, the assumption is made that this could happen in this way.
Madara is able to use individual IMS abilities. See, it's slightly implied by the fact that Sasuke lost his...
Slightly implied by the fact...
This bullshit. You ain't proving nothing by going, it's slightly implied. Those two, imagine, it's slightly implied.
I'm sorry the author didn't understand the nuance of the eye jutsu. You see, the implication is...
It's not even an outright implication, it's a slight implication. It's like So this is a subtext of a subtext in a data book that's not translated from Japanese yet.
Based on Boruto.
Like, what? Dude, how am I supposed to have this information?
It's 30% implied there. If you can use the Ghost Samurai after you lose your eye, then why did Sasuke dip after the first signs of blindness?
Sources that I made it the fuck up.
Slightly implied by the series that Kishimoto didn't write.
Amaterasu
Amy
Eye.
Village says, I remembered people being mad about Obito channeling his eye powers to Kakashi, but they never care about Madara doing every bullshit asterisk in the war arc.
None.
Then used Amaterasu right after losing said eye with his other eye. That individual MS abilities can be used by either eye, but can they be used with no eyes? We don't know. But using Sasuke saying that using MS abilities makes his body feel as though it's on fire or makes him go blind as an argument to say that Madara shouldn't be able to use his Susanoo without any eyes makes no sense. Because
It does make sense. How does it make... Okay, because...
Madara has an EMS. He wouldn't strain to use his MS abilities in the first place, even if he had eyes. In fact, that's the idea behind the EMS in the first place.
But it's still a chakra drain.
And this is also an upgrade that Sasuke eventually gets by taking his own brother's eyes. Wildly enough, the article
So how did Madara get it?
goes on to touch on this
Took
very
his
point.
brother's eyes.
Saying the logical explanation is that once a dojutsu awakens in a user, the user's eyes themselves are no longer needed to execute the technique. However, this seems like a major oversight, especially considering how rare and overpowering dojutsu techniques actually are. Madara himself was ridiculously overpowered as it was, and giving him a perfect Susanoo without the use of his eyes made no logic, which makes no logical sense in a sentence structure. What does the rarity or overpowering strength of dojutsu abilities have to do with the fact that Madara was able to use them without eyes?
Doesn't matter. That's
It's
a
not
word
like if Madara
count
were to
thing.
pluck out his 2 EMSs and give them to somebody else, they would be able to use it at the same level that he can. And while sure, even if he did that, he might be...
Can you say for sure if if they can or they can't?
525 says, Madara also took his brother's eyes cause he dead. He don't need him.
There
It's
you go.
okay to be confused.
I guess so.
able to continue using Susanoo, we don't know if he'd be able to use his other MS abilities. In fact, we don't even know if somebody with 2 MSs gave their 2 MSs to somebody else would even be able to use the Susanoo. And while Kakashi was able to do it, that's because of a special chakra spiritual-based connection he had with Obito.
Bro, you can't... Bro, what the is this noise? We don't know if it happened. Well, it happened here, but that was because of some super spiritual chakra connection.
Supervising. Can you? He's been supervising. Can you say that every sentence, every decision, everything that's been made, every revelation has gone through him? Because unless you can say that, then anything that happens in the series is called into contention.
This is the same way that just like Toriyama supervised Dragon Ball Super. Even though we're getting 2 different stories, it's just the rough area of what he's saying.
I digress. Let's get to the next gripe here. People in the Leaf Village were relentlessly cruel to a little boy. Despite Naruto being under the Hokage's care, was it actually necessary? Now this is another...
How you feeling?
About them mistreating Naruto?
Yeah, how you feeling?
Are you asking to skip that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I don't know what his argument could be.
Exactly.
It feels like this is gonna be bullshit.
Yes, and that's the point.
Another very popular, very commonly talked about gripe that unfortunately kind of ignores a lot of well-known plot points. See, because while yes, everybody was
let's skip this. What the f*** you thinking?
I didn't think he'd be dumb enough to.
What did you think he could possibly say? Where it's like, there's
I thought it was gonna be another Sakura. I agree.
Well, at least let's listen to him to see if he agreed or not before you just go, let's skip it. All right, yeah, let's skip it.
No ghosts in the chat.
preternaturally cruel to a child who was demonized under no free will of his own. But the reason that Naruto was demonized kind of makes sense. But let's see what they had to say. Circling back to Jiraiya's abandonment of him and taking it a step further, it's impossible to even believe in the will of fire the Hidden Leaf Village is founded on when one takes into account the horrible treatment of young Naruto Uzumaki had to.
When was this initially written?
2024.
This might be AI.
Anything written around that time is in the contention for. I don't think the misspellings lead to AI because AI is good about that.
I don't know if Shonen, if it would have been able to.
No, I think it would have.
I don't know.
Terrified them. But honestly, how did nobody know who his parents were? Minato Namikaze was the most revered of the hidden
525 says, it's okay to blame the child, Weeb Commander.
Yes! It's the child's fault!
Leaf Hokage, leaving his mark in such a way that nobody would ever forget him. It is barbaric for fans to think that Naruto had the third Hokage and even Jiraiya, but was still left to fend for himself. Listen, there's a lot of different points going on here, but yes, absolutely. How did nobody know who his parents were? Well,
No, and he's gonna continue.
some people did. Kakashi, Jiraiya, Hiruzen all knew who Naruto's parents were. However, they didn't want to reveal to Naruto who his parents were because they wanted him to become his own person.
This has never once been stated in anything that I have seen or read.
I don't think so either.
This is bullshit.
I don't think
And even if it is true,
I don't
you
think this
can't learn
happened.
who your parents are so you can become your own person. Shika's ain't no Shika Cho. Their whole thing is we're a team and our team has been teams for generations.
No, this is nonsense.
Oh, this is some bullshit.
Asuba is the son of one of them. No, it is not like
become your own person. What do you mean? Is he gonna have a big head because of his dead parents that he knows nothing about and inherited almost nothing from? Nah.
Yeah.
Even Filler didn't add that trash of actual garbage.
want to reveal to Naruto who his parents were because they wanted him to become
Let's skip this. Skip.
I'm sorry. I am not in the mind of bums like this. You
should know when I went to in Mizukage, you like,
Yeah.
all right, let me let this bum handle this video.
Why did you think I went?
But Naruto became the Hokage like his father.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason acts like his mom.
Absolutely. Even has her verbal tick. Do not forget what happened frame 1. I turned to you and said, how are you feeling about this?
Crazy bars.
own person, something that was specifically requested by Minato and Kushina to keep their identities held secret from Naruto. But yes, people—
Man, what was this? And to become his own person, is that what was stated, or is that just your interpretation?
Keep our identity secret. I think there was a whole thing of, Minato got enemies.
Yeah.
He got a lot of enemies. But I think he's conflating those two things.
Yes. It feels very much like that. Don't put it out there that Naruto's my child because I have a lot of enemies, and that means they wanted him to grow into his own person. He's an Uzumaki.
Like, the name Uzumaki. Who is the only other Uzumaki? Oh, Minato's wife. Minato's wife's grandmother, who was also the holder of the fox, like this Uzumaki is. No connection. No correlation. Nothing.
Yellow hair that looks just like him.
There's nothing to think about here. I don't see what connection anybody's making. What was going on here? Whatever.
Jay says,
boo that child.
Goodbye, son. You're the reason I'm
That makes no sense when Naruto is walking around 24/7 via nine tails to everybody in the village. Yeah. He knows all these things just don't make sense, but Kishimoto wanted this point of a lonely child that has been neglected and didn't think about it at all. And then he introduces Godfather to people that know his parents and the fact that his father was the Hokage and beloved. And he's just like, all this still counts.
Okay. Minato doesn't want people to know that Naruto is his kid because he had enemies, and I guess those people will take revenge on the kid, because they can't do it on Minato for whatever reason now. Whatever. What the ever. How many more enemies could he have coming after his child than people that want the fox?
Yes.
So you implant this fox, which you know will make him hunted, and then go, don't tell him about us, because he'll be hunted.
But even even that, put shit aside. Do any sort of research into who is Minato. Does he have any family that I can attack? Oh, he had a wife named Uzumaki. There's one Uzumaki in the village around the time. Oh, boom. It is one single book that they need to pick up. It doesn't make sense.
Is Naruto actually happy? He's happy now. This is a lie. It's bull. That's the third one said.
Absolutely had to know that Kushina was pregnant. It didn't seem during any of the filler
Raffletear
flash.
says, "Hey Nick, let's play a game of why didn't the third Hokage clear the air about Naruto to the village? Naruto didn't have to know. Please
No.
answer this, and headcanons are...
Yeah,
part of
no,
this game."
there's no reason, and the only thing you can say is, well, this could have happened, and this could have happened.
He's an Uzumaki who were killed because of how dangerous they were, and you give him that name, like. But he can't. People can't know he's my child. They can know he's the fox. They can know he's an Uzumaki. But my child is a step too far. Are Minato's enemies in the room with us right now? Third Hokage is a piece of happy enough to have 2 kids.
Back moments like she was actively hiding, and she wasn't. The entirety of the purpose of the Minato one-shot is to show that after Kushina gets a bit of Minato's chakra in her 8 trigram seal, she's able to freely move around the village. So yes, when Hiruzen showed up with a baby bearing the seal of the Nine Tails, was it really that hard for anybody to figure out who Naruto really was? No, not really, probably. I'm sure a lot of people...
Not really.
No, not really. Probably.
There was so much conviction in the no to end that sentence with probably is crazy. No, not really. Probably.
Definitely not. What the f is you talking about? I think.
Anybody to figure out who Naruto really was? No, not really, probably. I'm sure a lot of...
He just slid that in. No, not really. Probably.
People probably figured out that Naruto was the son of
Pause.
the
That's
Hokage.
the thing. You don't. That's see. Like I said. Also,
Keep
in
him
mind
also. I would like to see people going, Minato up there on the mountain, saved the village. He is a hero. But that child, who is his son,
Yes.
and he got the fox put in him for no fault of his own. He has shown no fox-like tendencies. He is just a child. He's not like the manifestation of the fox or anything. He is just a child. We know about Jinchuriki because they've been around since the first Hokage. But
T-Rex
that child...
525 says, "No, not really. Probably. Almost. Kinda."
That's like me going, oh, Final Fantasy 2 is a good game. It's an alright game. It's an okay game.
This is so good. And then you throw some Kool-Aid in it sometimes. It's so
I've
good.
seen things like that. It's like, yeah, it makes it really good.
Kage and Kushina. I mean, after all, he is the only Uzumaki left in the village. However, that doesn't mean that people wouldn't hate him. Well, yes, it would seem as though Naruto was a...
We don't see that. We don't see people knowing. You have to assume that people know.
It can't even be a person that's just like, I don't hate you, Naruto. I hate what's inside.
Yes.
It's a scam.
And I don't know if I can ever separate those two things.
I don't want to give you this food because it may nurture the fox inside of you as well. It could be a lot of things, but we don't get that side. So because we don't get that side, I can only assume that they don't know.
And then the Naruto is legitimately the best possible outcome for how he was treated as a Jinchuriki. Because you can get a Gaara, you can get some mother that's just like, this village. The second I will give my body over to you, Jinchuriki person thing.
Especially when it was the only thing that happened was the fox just going, hey, rip off this seal. It could have been 12 years of him being pushed down and spit on and just like, yeah, you know what, I ain't got no love for any of these people.
Aren't you tired of getting hurt and bullied? Rip off this seal
and let's teach them a lesson. He's like, I've got no feelings for these people. I have nothing to aspire to in this village.
Ninja school shooter.
Yes! It could have easily been like that. And, well, thankfully it just wasn't, because Hiruzen was peeking in on this crystal ball every now and again. What the f was that crystal ball?
B was treated well, or at least better than Naruto. I'm saying for the way that Naruto was treated and basically abandoned and shunned.
It's lucky that he did not fox out.
It's lucky he did not become a monster or a villain or something. Because Naruto is so justified in being a villain. I'm sick of your sandwiches. I never remember the sand bit until Muggs bring it up like that.
Sacrificial
Raffletear
pawn.
says, I'm honestly kind of surprised that Nine Tails didn't take advantage of Naruto in his early years.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
Maybe the seal was too strong, and that's why. And as it weakened, he started seeing a more corporeal version of the fox until eventually he could start being in his head.
It's not well explained enough.
Created by his parents in their final moments, just because Naruto was the son of Kushina and Minato didn't mean that people had to like him. Naruto is
Again, show me somebody going, this is the fourth son. But we don't have that, so you can't be like, nah, it's fine. Then of course they would still hate him.
Representation of one of the worst moments in Konoha's history, which ironically is his birthday. People hating him isn't the craziest idea of all time, especially when you consider the fact that Danzo, one of the greatest political figures in all of Konoha, was actively trying to make
Why can he not say Konoha?
One of the greatest political figures. Okay, you know who the greatest political figure is? The guy that's been Hokage for over 30 years. Maybe he would have more sway than him. Maybe instead of this shadowy organization guy who we don't know about, the mob that is talking in front of children,
high-fiving them in the park.
Literally, maybe he has more sway than this guy who is in the shadows with an armful of
Hey, you should hate that fox, though.
That's the fox. You should hate him. And Heroes is just going, oh, there's nothing I can do about this. This is
Hey,
out
what's
of
the
my
word on
hands.
Naruto? Good. All right, that's what I like to hear. Back to my business.
What is your business, sir?
I'm on it. I'm standing on it. That's what it is.
it that way. See, the reason that everybody knows that Naruto had the Nine-Tails Fox sealed inside of him is because Danzo leaked that information to the entire village to unify the village in their hatred of Naruto.
And Hiruzen did nothing to assuage that.
We're still in Sasuke Susanoo, by the way.
The timestamps are just messed up, I'm assuming.
No, that's what I mean. He
Oh,
timestamps.
yeah. But no,
And while
he
you-
could have easily have done that. Jiraiya could have done that, which is another big problem. Kakashi could have done that, which is another big problem.
Danzo did so much damage that even after his death, effects still make others suffer, and we never get resolution on those plot points.
You can say, yeah, it's crazy that people hated on a baby. People didn't see him as human. They saw him as an extension of the nine-tailed fox. But sure, you can say...
Is that why they were like, that rapscallion Naruto is up there painting that again?
He has done zero violent things. Jinchuriki have been a thing since the first Hokage. How many of them have beasted out and just destroyed the village? None of them that we know of. But these people, and we're supposed to feel any kind of love for this village.
Yeah.
When they treated him like that. And the only time where they gave him any sort of recognition is when he showed his strength against Neji and when he showed his strength against Pain. When he provided something for them.
When he resurrected everybody and they're like, you did it, Naruto, you're the best.
Hey, how did he do those two things? Oh, with the fox and with the fox.
He was just a little boy, and the heartless nature of the people and the hidden leaf towards a child in need is the antithesis of everything the Will of Fire stands for, and that's the point of Naruto. Not everybody in the
It's a manufactured point. It's a manufactured loneliness, because as we've said several times, we don't get the chance to see people just go, hey, Naruto, here's some food for you. In case some goes down someday, remember who provided this for you. Because it could be a fear thing, so we're going to treat him like the boy in Twilight, the Cormaze kid. We're just like, everyone's overtly friendly because they're afraid he's going to walk out.
Says, so where was the hate on Kushina, or worst Hokage's wife, when they were Jinchuriku?
Hey!
Yeah, where was
Shut the up!
First Hokage's wife was a Jinchuriki, had the fox inside of him all that time, no issues.
Wouldn't make sense that Kushina was the one who was hated, but that hatred was warded off by Minato being Hokage until she decided to have a son, and in turn they look at Naruto with animosity.
The best that you can say about this is the fox attacked the village, and it didn't attack the village when Kushina had the fox. So,
but it'd be great if there were even like 6 adults that were cool with Naruto, even if most of the village hated him.
You got Iruka.
And Eric is just like, I don't even really like you like that though.
I just kind of related to you, but still few. But whatever. You did kind of beat this tiger guy that's gonna come back in the filler as a tiger.
Are y'all gonna tell us that one was good too?
The mom came back as a tiger, and we're supposed to see him as a threat. It stated that the entire village is like the Wheel of Fire is. It stated that the entire village is like a large family unit, and every Konoha shinobi with the Wheel of Fire loves, believes, and cherishes and fights to protect the village, as previous generations had done before them. But still, this child. Oh, you don't remember that filler? Oh, it's real convenient that you don't remember the Tony the Tiger month that came back. It's real inconvenient that you don't remember the real bad ones. I'm just saying, look them up and you'll see a Tiger Man.
777.
Save search on, baby.
Why wasn't he raised on Mount Toad?
Good question. I'm raised by a bunch of frogs. How much humanity?
He's raised by nobody.
But do they have people food?
I'm sure they would get him people food.
That is an option that could be explored and explained away in a couple of panels. But that's like last resort.
Adheres to the Will of Fire, but Naruto does, which is why he wants to become Hokage. He wants to make Konoha a place that fully embraces the Will of Fire. A place
So the first Hokage couldn't do it. The second Hokage, third, fourth Hokage, they could not do it.
Like I said.
Also keep in mind.
For some reason, the Will of Fire was not implanted into all of these people. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Tsunade as well.
Yeah.
And she just like the Will of Fire burns at all of us, and she's stitching her lower half back in together. She couldn't do it, but Naruto can do it. And flash forward, it's fine now. Great storytelling. Everything's cool. The Hyuga stuff, cool. Don't even worry about it. Will of Fire, everywhere. Everybody got it. No children are going hungry or hated or whatever. Yeah, they couldn't do it, but Naruto can, because he knows how it feels to be hated. Oh, for some reason, the Will of Fire wasn't emboldened in people, but Naruto gave it to him when he rocked up there and just like, hey, everybody, Konoha. Third Hokage couldn't do that for some reason, but Naruto can. What the ever, man? Ugh, these ball suckers, when they start spouting they bush, you just go, do you actually believe this?
Yeah, there's no absolutely not non-belief.
Make Konoha great again. Get them tariffs on. Or kunai. That's why Tsunade is drowning in debt.
Hi Zaldonix says, here's an idea that Gaara's rampage in the Sand Village stimulated the village's fear of Naruto,
yes.
and that's why they treated him badly.
Yes, they heard about it over there, and it's like there's another Jinchuriki kid.
And that's the one tale. Imagine us.
Hey, make it like that. The news traveled.
And then the third Hokage brings them over to go, hey, you'll see they're not a threat. You'll see he's not a threat. It was a one-time thing that happened. But if you care for these mothers, it won't happen.
This kid is desperately reaching out for friendship. He's fine. The only reason why he starts to stand out is when y'all start mistreating him.
So how about we don't mistreat Naruto, and you will see we'll be good. But
these bombs keep blowing up when I use my flame jutsu on them. Maybe don't use your flame jutsu on the bombs. Don't mistreat the Jinchuriki, and the Jinchuriki won't be in fox monsters. No, let's mistreat him and hope that he doesn't become a fox monster. That makes sense. It's so stupid.
And that's the point.
Oh my, and that's the point, muffs are the worst. At least Gaara had that overprotective stand for people to fear him. Yeah, he had an outward showing
it
of
will
his
attack you if you don't chill the out.
Hey, here's your ball. I don't need this dumb ball.
It's Gaara, run!
It's like bullying the quiet kid wearing a black trench coat.
Legitimately. You don't want to see his hand.
No.
Where his hip be at?
That mob just transferred from a school that he shot up. And he's here now. And they're just pushing him down like, what? What's the problem? Like, y'all know what he can do.
Fully embrace a child like him. Naruto wants to make Konoha a place that would be safe for people like him. He wants to make sure that nobody ever has the upbringing he has to
Ain't
go
nobody
through.
like him.
Where was this stated? That the reason he does this is so kids won't have to ever feel the way he felt.
He's only like him because this story needs to happen.
Yes.
There are no other people like him.
Konoha is not supposed to be a good place in the beginning of Naruto.
Konoha ain't good.
It's good that Konoha.
Crazy bars.
It's good that Konoha ain't good, so we can make it good.
And it's
through
not
the
supposed
story.
to be good either. The third Hokage is just allowing this place to just not be good.
What's worse, Naruto and Neji changing the Hyuga is stupid. Neji didn't even really change it. He got done up, and Naruto went, "Yo, this is kind of."
Yeah.
And his uncle was like, "You right, dang."
No, you right, and you are strong, and you're doing things that I could not do.
Let me go have a conversation with my nephew and see how he feels.
about
Like
me
Naruto
doing
said.
this and exploding
It's
his
actually crazy
brain.
How both Naruto and Gaara being mistreated ended in the best way for both villages.
Crazy bars. Abuse children, beat kids, I guess. That's the story.
It's crazy that it's just like there was never a conversation because this dude is the head of the Hyuga branch. He's just like, yeah, I almost exploded my own brother's brain. But this dude just going, hey, nah, this ain't cool. And then he just goes, I'm sorry, my nephew, this wasn't cool.
Suck my dick. That's my request.
Yes. That should have been Nechi's request.
It's supposed to become a good place, and the reason it becomes a good place is Naruto. So
No. The mob.
Then why did third Hokage die and go, they're all like my family?
Not only did he not make it a good place, not only is there no reason why it's not a good place, we don't see how Naruto makes it a good place. He just do.
Like, oh, I can't believe people were mean to Naruto.
that's the point. But we gotta keep it moving here. So let's get to the next gripe here. Kakashi
But the justification of why they're mean is the issue.
His lackadaisical attitude to responsibility is strange. When considering Kakashi's past, his lax approach to being a teacher is uncharacteristic. Now,
I feel like this could be a skip.
Racketeer says, Konoha, so that one tail kid was rampaged because he was treated
Suck my
horribly.
dick. That's
That
my
means we need
request
to
to
treat
you.
Naruto like shit, but 9x worse to protect ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna be safe by bullying, by
It didn't
throwing
work for
rocks
them,
at the bomb.
but it might work for us.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear a little bit of this.
of all the gripes, this is the one I've certainly heard the least. And it's because, why is this something that you would be focused on? The article says, when it comes to a sensei in Naruto-verse, nothing is explored as a character. All Harry thought of becoming Hokage after Tsunade was a responsibility he had no desire for, but given his early personality traits, it's hard to imagine why. Naruto's Kakashi Atsuke set the bar for a long time as the hidden leaf Shashi and having to kill Rin later destroyed him. A strict follower of the rules and obvious child prodigy, things were easy for Kakashi until his father's suicide.
What? Keep it going.
Well,
We don't need this
basically,
synopsis stuff. No, we just did just the
what we're
synopsis
complaining
stuff.
about here is that the mission, Kakashi and credits and what doesn't make sense is how casual it became about everything else. And I guess this is fair. Like, yes, was Kakashi incredible?
Yeah,
We're good.
Just out of all of the gripes on this list. But the next one isn't. In fact, the next one makes a fair amount of sense. See, because the next gripe is that Danzo just biding his time falls into the realm of ridiculousness. He had plenty of power to take exactly what he wanted. And honestly, this is fair. But what is the article?
Yeah, we're good.
That's a pretty fair point. See, a lot of people are under the misconception that Neji stagnates in power in Shippuden. Is of on this list, this one makes the most sense. And unfortunately for those of you at home hoping I'm gonna rip this article to shreds, we're in a back-to-back situation here. Because the next gripe is, of all of the deaths in Shippuden, Neji still makes no sense.
Oh, he agreed with
Neji
this.
was arguably one of Naruto's most powerful friends and allies. And that's a pretty fair point. See, a lot of people are under the misconception that Neji stagnates in power in Shippuden, and he doesn't. See, well, obviously Neji
Who
plays a
has
much...
those misconceptions?
Yeah.
It's not a fair. We see him have one fight, so and it's against himself.
larger role in part 1 of Naruto than he does in Shippuden. In Shippuden, it's stated that Neji is already the most powerful Byakugan user in Hyuga history. And while that never necessarily fleshes itself out in any way that actually matters, that is what's
Do you
told
think that's good? Do you think that it's fine to just lay statements down like that and then just move on without us actually seeing a moderate Hyuga and then see what Neji can do?
Yeah.
Because Hinata, she just kind of sucks. So it's not fair to compare those two.
Yeah. Hanabi? Maybe Hanabi one day?
Who is knee? Don't worry about
If
it.
there was any of Naruto's friends that should have survived the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, Neji is definitely one of them. Because within the confines of the Konoha 12, during the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, I would say it went Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Rock Lee, and then maybe Neji, but you could switch those two. So the fact that characters like Tenten, Kiba, and Ino survived the Fourth Great Shinobi World War.
Says, no, the problem is Hinata jumps in front of an attack, then Neji jumps in front of it, and Naruto just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. They didn't push Naruto. Nothing. They didn't try to rotation or air palm. It was just like, boom. Dead.
War, but Neji didn't, is kind of a head scratcher. But when it comes down to it, the gripe that a lot of people have with Neji's death is that while it's understandable, he would gladly put himself in danger to protect a girl who was more like a little sister than a cousin to him, it just doesn't feel right. And that's really everyone's key complaint with Neji's death.
I mean,
is
sure.
been decided. Even if it's set in stone,
I'll smash that future.
Hey, Deku, shut up, you nerd!
Gamabuto is 9 tails fighting the 1 tail. Should have had the villain shooting bricks. That never came up in his book.
Crazy, huh? The best that you could say is it's just like, well, there was a big snake in the village and it happened way over there. So something happened.
I mean, a bunch of kids were able to catch up to it. It can't be that far away. Even a super cat balance.
Yeah, Shika had like 3% chakra. He was able to catch him up.
Wasn't most of the village sleep
yes.
there? You're correct.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Switch.
Debunked.
is that it just doesn't feel right. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it makes a fair amount of sense.
No, logically, it makes sense that he would jump in front of Hinata based on the story that has been presented. But it's not made enough of a deal to make people feel like this is justified.
It's not satisfying to the audience because we don't have enough conversations between the two of just like, I'm sorry, your rotation is getting better.
Yeah,
something of the sort.
Thank you, Jay, for the 10 gifted.
Roll the dice. Okay.
Big up Floreca, Morris Steele, Brian White, Zach Mackey, hey, Alex
There's
Garza.
no way.
FBI.
There is literally no way. Dude, literally nobody. I'm sorry if you're watching or have watched. You ain't dead. Dead is actively chatting. It has been from the beginning.
Sugar dying in the war would have hit more. Absolutely. How you feeling?
And like I said, it's funnier if all of these literal random who people are getting it when he's not.
One away from 100. We might already be at 100 and it only goes up to 99. And he did not get it
yet. It's funnier this way, and I think that is fine.
Those of you who are going to say that
That's One Piece is his gifted sub.
Paquito no koi. Please give me a fin sub. One more. Actual great big guns. Thank you. I don't know.
I could have sworn they had one in the redacted stream.
Thank you, Hope, for the gifted sub. Thank you again. Was it Jay for the 10 gifted? Jay with one more. Let's see it. They don't even want to give it to nobody.
There's nobody else, says the machine.
That Neji should have been able to deflect the incoming projectiles that would have killed Hinata and or Naruto. 1, he was established to be out of chakra, and 2, who's to say that with Gentle Fist he would have been strong enough to deflect those projectiles? Yeah, with the Gentle
but try.
We saw Neji destroy a bunch of
He was fast enough. It's just not giving it.
Yeah.
It's legitimately just like, no.
Yeah, I think it's like nobody else is left.
It's legit just like, no, no.
Thank you, Aries, for the gifted sub.
I guess.
Nobody's getting no. Yeah, did it break? Like, what happened?
What's the number at?
Yeah.
It is not even at 100.
The system it must be. Oh, so fighting gimmick doesn't have allowed gifts on. Maybe Det?
Yeah, maybe Det you don't have allowed gifts on. Click on the gifted membership up there, Det, and you should be able to turn it on there, I believe. I think that's how it's done on YouTube. Go back to what someone wanted to say.
Or Naruto. 1, he was established to be out of chakra, and 2, who's
Oh, yeah. He was established.
5 says, Dad, you aren't getting a membership, buddy. Maybe if you believe in the power of Zaz, you'll get one.
Zazz it up.
Zazz it up. He's out of chakra, but he was fast enough to intercept it.
Yes.
He was fast enough to get there in time. Hinata was fast enough to get there in time. He was able to see what was happening
So
as the spikes are coming and then get in front of Hinata.
Why wouldn't Hinata try to pick him up here instead of just jumping in front of him?
There's a lot of things that happen, but I do not accept that he's out of chakra because that high speed movement of not flash step, whatever it's called, it takes chakra. And if you don't have chakra, you can't do that.
With Gentle Fist, he would have been strong enough to deflect those projectiles. Yeah, with the Gentle Fist, we saw Neji destroy a bunch of spiders that were falling down onto him, but who's to say you could deflect wood release fired by the Ten Tails?
Yeah, who's to say? So don't even
Neji's
try and
death
just
leaves
die.
a bad taste in a lot of our mouths. At the end of the day, ultimately, he died to bring Hinata and Naruto closer.
Yes,
well as
he
a reasoning
died
for Neji.
literally for plot.
That's the point.
Yes, that is the bad thing. And you can tap into your if you use enough chakra, you will die if you run completely out of chakra. So he had enough chakra to use it because that's what happened to Kakashi. He used the eye and then he died because he was literally out of chakra. He could have died due to lack of chakra and use all of his energy to do the rotation. That could have happened, but he didn't.
Neji's death, that doesn't seem like enough. Unfortunately, that's why he was killed. Is that the best way we could have gone about it? Could we have pushed Naruto and Hinata to...
So, he jumps. There's only 2 spikes that hit him. They could just knock them spikes out the way.
He was killed.
Anybody could have knocked the spikes out of the way. Shika could have shadowed Naruto and yanked him.
Dude, look, like... This is poor aim, and it's this one spot, and instead of just, like, trying to brace yourself or
Emma
push it,
Flynn says,
like...
Thanks whoever sent me the membership.
Is that the best way we could have gone about it? Could we have pushed Naruto and Hinata together in a way that...
The alert isn't even going off anymore.
I think it's
we're
just
broken.
I think it's just broken.
Thank you, Jay, for the gifted, but I think it's broken.
Yeah, I think it's just broke.
I'm getting tired of all this who's to say BS to excuse Kishimoto's bad
it's
writing.
really, really bad. And he's capable and willing to accept certain things. We've seen that, but in these cases, it's just like, well, it just wouldn't have worked because it just wouldn't have worked.
It didn't require Hinata's cousin's death. Absolutely. Would it have been better if a character like Kiba died? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, Neji was killed for a reason, and we can track what that reason was.
Yes, the reason is not what they're talking about. They're talking about the execution of that reason. We know why he died. We're not satisfied in the way that he died. YouTube would rather break itself than give dead a gift himself.
And his death does make a fair amount of sense. So just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's an inconsistency or even a plot hole. It's just the plot point you don't enjoy. Now, great news for those of you who wanted me to rip apart this article.
At the same time, if a plot point that you do enjoy, it doesn't make it not a plot hole.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going 3 for 3. Because our next gripe is Gaara's drastic character change makes him seem like an entirely different person. Taking advantage of opportunities for growth is one thing, but Gaara isn't even the same. Now, basically, the point that's trying to get driven home here is that Gaara's quick turn in personality doesn't make any sense.
Now, why is he just summarizing now instead of reading the entire article like before? Did you realize, oh, this kind of boring?
Boy, oh boy, could I not agree less. Well, let's dive deep into
Never
what exactly is being
mind.
said. Fans got to
I
take
guess
a
you're
deep look
not
at
in
Gaara's
his
childhood
mind.
in many dams. Gaara flip a switch in the hidden Sand Shinobi that more or less turned him into an entirely different person. After becoming the Kazekage, when his father is killed, Gaara is suddenly this gentle, reasonable, does it make perfectly capable of running a nation, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Pause.
Does it make?
He did become the Kazekage at 15.
Yes.
But the whole, well, Kakashi can't take care of Naruto because he's a child.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was older than...
Yeah, so any argument you're making now, you have to
Yeah.
understand Kakashi, quote unquote, not being able to take care of a child a singular child has to factor into whatever you're about to say.
And Gaara was able to
Two
take
more
care of an
says,
entire
I was
village.
gonna read along to make sure he's correct with the argument, but he's doing that for me. Tighten up this script.
Tighten it up. But yeah, Gaara's cool enough, 15 years old, after being hated and feared for 15 years, to become the Kazekage. But Kakashi, completely fine upbringing outside of his father's suicide and his friend dying, which happens all the time. He couldn't take care of him as an older person. Doesn't make too much sense.
Okay, I'm gonna see just how broken this is once we're at the end.
Absolutely no sense. Pretty much the entirety of Gaara's character development arc is that he's stripped of his childhood from early on. This is shown in moments.
So, even before going on to the rest, it should speak to him being more childlike than growing and being an adult.
He matured. He didn't have a childhood. And somebody was just like, hey, yo, that's not cool. And then he is now mature enough to love the village so much that he would sacrifice himself for it.
It's like when a child Gaara is walking around the hidden sand village and a ball rolls up to him. Gaara, in a moment of excitement, realizes that he may get to play with these children now. However, because these children are terrified of him, they run away from him, which leads to Gaara reflexively hurting them with his sand. It's moments like these that forced Gaara to grow up incredibly quickly. And I didn't even mention the fact that
How?
Gaara had
Why?
to kill his own uncle.
Wait,
Gaara was
how did that make him grow up quickly? He didn't realize, oh, these people are afraid of me, so I'm gonna stop trying. Where's the growth there? That's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
forced into developing into a full-on adult, holding the responsibility of an entire nation on his shoulders.
No. That's the problem. We didn't see that. Yeah. He rocked away with Konkoro just going, I'm sorry. And the next time we saw him, he was just like, hey, what up, Lee?
Why wasn't the village afraid of him standing out and turning into a tyrant?
We don't know. We don't see them muffs. But the next time we see him, he's just like, oh, you've gotten slower, Lee, making fun of the person that he wanted to kill multiple times. And then the next time that we see him, he got the hat on.
From the second he was born, Gaara was kind of the reason his mother was killed in childbirth. I mean, it was more on Rasa because Rasa decided to seal Shukaku inside of Gaara while he was still inside of his mother's belly. But from the moment Gaara was born, he was being groomed into becoming the perfect weapon of the Hidden Sand Village.
Pause. And a weapon, that is not a Kazekage. No. A weapon is just like, there is an S-rank mission that we need to take care of. Get that sand muff. Is he teaching them geopolitical dynamics and trading and all those things? We don't know. We don't see that. He's a weapon. A weapon does not mean that you're gonna be a Kaze.
Is Mo just putting a paper in front of him and going tariffs?
It's just a sandpaper. just got finger etched into it. Terrorists. How do you feel about that, Lord Kazekage? It just says terrorists.
And then he turns and goes, bad. They shake his head. Bad, good. Good, excellent.
You're gonna rule the entire nation one day, boy.
Not a child, a weapon. And therefore, the idea that Gaara was ahead of some of the other kids.
But so were other Jinchuriki. And B is older, and he's a child. He's a mature child, but he's still a child.
His age developmentally is not the craziest thing of all time, because he, unlike them, never got to be a kid.
Pause.
The article
And again, his mindset is it's not the craziest thing of all time. So you can justify it. So it's just as easy for somebody to not justify this thing.
This is supposed to be your ripping into the article point? Because he said they're not going 3 for 3, so the people that wanted me to rip into it, here
The article's not done.
But he's been talking about it, and he's got
Obvious reasons.
He's got a minute left! Let's make the the president.
The nuke.
Thank you for the super chat balance.
Naruto lived by himself since he was 5.
And because there's nobody else, and or it's gone by blood. It's given by blood. Go up a little bit. How do you feel about Gaara living without the Shikaku? It kind of feels like they cheated him out of dealing with that, for satisfying story stuff. Yeah, the whole, it was actually your mama that was protecting you. It's like, well, you guys have surely had the Shikaku for a while, so you would know about the sand protection. So when he's doing it, and you're just like, it's the sand protection. Are you just like, is this the Shikaku evolving? Because the last month didn't do this sand protection thing. Or you just like, does the Shikaku have the sand protection? And then it's just like, no, go back to your mama.
Is boom, boom, boom. Why am I saying this to a currency called Scambucks? It's not a Scambuck, sir.
Goes on to say, to make matters worse, he spends every moment on screen in Shippuden proving how gentle he suddenly is. He becomes almost obsessed with Naruto, his new role model, who will go to the ends of the earth for his friends and allies, wanting desperately to prove himself. And his near-death experience early in Shippuden only served to make him all the more beloved. Is your gripe that Gaara likes Naruto? Listen, I get that Gaara.
No. It is a. He said it started off with. Shippuden just proves how gentle he is. That's all that Shippuden is. All of his character traits. There is no moment of just like extreme rage where you have to push that back. As he's been feeling these feelings for some 13, 14 years. There's none of that. It is just he is a completely different character, and now you're honing in on the Naruto part. No, the Naruto thing is justifiable enough because he did call them to change or whatever. But look at it as a whole. This month just went, hey, I know what you're dealing with and it's not cool, but I'm cool. And then he went, I guess I'm cool too. And then there's no further conflicts with Gaara in terms of all of his life being hated and wanting to literally kill himself.
Imagine a child therapist getting basically a year and a half and turning a kid around completely from a rage-filled potential school shooter to some super productive member of society that becomes mayor at 15 or something. You go, well, give them a Nobel Prize, because they're clearly the best in their field ever.
One of the first interactions with Gaara and Kankuro is just him and Gaara going...
says, BG will never rid him himself for the day he took all our money. New hard drive. Yeah, sure.
It was a new hard drive.
But the first interaction between Kankuro and Gaara was just Gaara going, shut the up or I will kill you. So to go from that to just like, la, brothers. Oh, wait, we don't really see any interactions between them. Weird how that works, huh?
Relationship with Naruto definitely borders on obsession. Naruto is the first person in Gaara's life who understood him. Gaara's interactions with Naruto were an awakening of sorts for him. Gaara being obsessed with
Hey, is Naruto obsessed with Urika? No.
Is Naruto obsessed with Gaara? Who is somebody who's going through the things that he's going through.
You're me and all of that stuff.
No, he's not.
So
the first ever person to treat him like a human makes sense when you consider how...
Hey, Naruto Urika. Come on now.
how incredibly
It's a
affection
scam.
deprived he's been his entire life. So no, this is not an inconsistency or a plot hole.
No, it is another one of those things like the first point where it's just like it would have been better further explored. Kishimoto had in his mind, I need to get Gaara to this point so that once I say he's the Kazekage, Naruto will be like, oh, he's ahead of me. So we can get that moment, but we're not seeing how he got there. We're not seeing how the village is handling it. We're not seeing how he's handling it. He's just here, moving on.
It's just good writing. And if you can't understand that,
I'm sorry. It's just good writing. If you don't understand that, you's a cuck.
good writing, well then maybe we're in the wrong career. But enough about Gaara, let's talk about a gripe that I slightly agree with. Because our next up is, why were there inconsistencies in the Jutsus? As the story progressed,
Aizawa
Jutsus were...
says, what interactions? They had one at the hospital and when he hit her on the head.
Hit her on the head. I don't know who the her is in reference to.
easy
a lot
to
of things are
employ.
happening here.
Basically, I'm going to surmise what's said here in the article. They're upset about power creep. This is a talking point brought up time and time again in the Naruto fanbase. That at one time, Kakashi and Sasuke were only able to use 2 Chidori a day,
Yes.
but by the time that the 4th Great Shinobi World War blows around, they're able to do it somewhat limitlessly. Basically, all of a sudden...
No, that shouldn't be somewhat agree with, because we don't know how you increase your chakra pool. Kakashi was able to do the Chidori 4 times in a day, 3 or 4 times in a day. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but let's just say 3 or 4. And then later he's able to do them a bunch. How? Why? We don't know.
Mother was laid out for a week because he used the Sharingan
for 5 minutes.
Just like, oh, I'm cooked.
And then there is never a conversation of base Sharingan Kakashi. It's always the Mangekyo. That's where the chakra drain really is.
Characters do not even seem to be straining as they
And
exert
that's
their
a
bodies
big problem with Kishimoto, because in the first arc he just introduced one-handed hand signs, and it's just like, I've never seen this, and you haven't really established any kind of anything outside of just basic hand signs. So in the first 30 chapters, you'd be like, oh, they're doing one-handed? That's super rare and abnormal. We haven't seen somebody do it super fast or look like they're doing it one-handed or doing like half of the ones that other people need to do.
Or behind their back or something.
There's nothing other than, okay, we've got the baseline and now we've got the tippity top, and literally no one has matched it since.
Normally, performing high-level jutsus. And yeah, that absolutely happens. Is Naruto subject to power creep like every other major show?
There's a big difference between power creep and how are you doing this thing that you were once literally unable to do. And there's no given explanation about how you grow past this point of increasing your chakra pool. There's nothing, because the Sharingan for Kakashi is a constant chakra drain on him. That's why when he became the Hokage, he became stronger, because he could use like purple lightning, which is a stronger version of Chidori. And I'll talk about it. It's a whole power scaling thing, because people talk about how.
Oh, I'm actually not purposely ignoring you. I'm looking up information.
You were purposefully ignoring me. Don't pretend. Don't spare my feelings. But yeah, we don't know it how one increases your chakra pool. So and why he had not done so beforehand. Chakra is physical and spiritual energy, so maybe exercise. I don't know. Would that be? Because
Kakashi, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. Kakashi is basically a ninja for 13 years and is unable to do the Sharingan without getting knocked out for a week. And then within 18 months, he could just kind of do it unlimitedly.
And he also does not realize that this is a problem to work on. Or maybe it was a minute before and he got it up to 5 minutes. But Choji, their whole thing is convert fat and into chakra. So there's other things that can be chakra as well. I guess that is physical, but who knows?
Absolutely. But this happens in every single major shonen. In my Naruto reaction series
No.
now,
I do not care about this happens everywhere, so it's fine. No. That's just not something that strive to. Talk about the issues within this thing. Because if it happens everywhere, yes, it is a problem everywhere. So we can talk about the individual
How
issues
does a
now.
person have more spiritual energy than another person? Does that mean they're more alive than other people?
Yeah. You're more balanced with who you are, and therefore your mind, I don't know.
Just gave up. Unbelievable.
But One Piece though.
I'm going back and watching the earliest episodes. And yes, in the earliest episodes of Naruto, you can see that Kishimoto fully had the intention of making these ninjas. The most important thing that they were able to do was spit fireballs and use rope escape jutsus. And by the end of the story, they're piloting chakramechs. But the story is also 700 chapters and 700 episodes long. As the enemies get stronger, so do the protagonists. And unfortunately, a lot of that strength comes from the protagonists being able to pull off things they weren't able to pull off previously. It's power creep. It exists. Yes, absolutely. Later representations of jutsus as instant magic tricks cheapen the value of discipline and practice that was stressed earlier. You're 100% right. But we can't do an individual training arc for every new jutsu that every person gets.
But it's not about the new jutsus, it's about the increasing of chakra. We don't really have that. Chakras are, to put it simply, the energies that are shinobi required to perform those of the mental and spiritual energy acquired over the course of much training and experience. What training? What experience?
He goes, it's chapter 700, so of course there's going to be all this stuff.
That substitution is BS.
100%. I hate substitution jutsu. But he goes, it's chapter 700. You know, what's to be expected. Chapter 700 of One Piece, we had just finished up with Punk Hazard. So what do we have? Hockey. We got hockey introduction. That's about the biggest power creep that we got.
That, unfortunately, is what the time skip is for. It's a time where people are able to train off screen that we can use as a way to explain why everyone's more powerful now.
But Kakashi has had the Sharingan since he was 13. He's had it for more than half of his life up until the beginning of Naruto proper. And he has 5 minutes. And then within a 2-year time skip, it is no longer an issue to pop the base Sharingan. It is no longer I have one more Chidori left. It is all just about the Mangekyo,
yes.
which is just
How refreshing.
Which is just a unknown chakra drain.
Yes.
So it's just a whole nother. The Mangekyo is essentially just what the Sharingan normally was. So within those 2 years, he just did it. And we just have to accept that? No, I'm not just going to accept that.
I was trying to see if Robot Lady. Nope. The time skip doesn't explain anything. It excuses it. That is not the same thing.
To that point, though, every single upgrade we see from either Naruto or Sasuke does come with a training arc of sorts. There's a reason and rationale.
No, but that's them gaining jutsus and stuff. Not, hey, these things you were using before that kind of took you out. You're just kind of casually using them now.
Behind why either of them are getting stronger. And while this doesn't necessarily apply to characters like Shino or Neji or even Hinata, most of the characters who do get stronger get...
Naruto is a better SHNEN than Shrimp Pants.
Shit. SHNEN.
She's done.
An explanation as to how they got stronger. In fact, even those 3 characters that I just explained, Shino got more bugs and Hinata and Neji just trained together for a couple of years.
He got more bugs?
What are you talking about?
Can you quantify the number? How do you know he got more bugs, or he got better at exploiting them, or he got
different bugs?
Different bugs. You don't know that. You just legitimately just talking. And you go, well, they just trained. Yes, that's the problem. Oh, they just trained. Now we've got air and bullets that the Hyugas can do. And you just go, yes, they can do it.
And listen, Kishimoto has fully acknowledged that he wished he didn't go the route of chakramechs, which is why chakramechs are being eliminated in Boruto right now. But unfortunately, this is just a sign of the times that Naruto is written in, because every single major shonen written during this time went through the exact same thing. Luffy used to struggle to pull off Gear 2, saying that every single time he used it, it would shorten his life, and now he uses it basically every fight. But enough about power creep, let's get to it.
No. He learned how to do it in a way that it doesn't. Where he can and isolate parts of his body to do it.
As opposed to constantly flowing through him. But One Piece, though.
That I actually touched on earlier, Naruto's devotion to Sasuke is more confusing than Sakura's. Sasuke becoming Naruto's all-consuming personal mission.
How can you explain this?
Brother. Wasn't realistic. See, this right here is where I have to give this article some credit, because if you're gonna talk about Sakura's unrealistic obsession with Sasuke, you have to talk
says. Every shonen gives one example.
about Naruto's. And honestly, I have to admit...
Yeah, and who's to say he's not still shortening his lifespan?
Yeah.
This article does make a couple of good points here. So the
eliminating chakra mechs for still ramping up the power scaling. Brilliant. Yeah. Boruto is just like, yeah, I've got all the chakra natures. What of it?
Village, the quest to bring him back consumes Naruto's life in the most unhealthy way, especially considering how cruel Sasuke was to everyone around him. And yeah, you have to admit that Naruto's goal does kind of change as Naruto's story progresses. See, if Naruto's true and only goal was to become the Hokage, then chasing after Sasuke wouldn't be necessary. But yes, as he becomes friends with Sasuke, he changes his goal to encompass bringing Sasuke back to the village. And this is most likely because Naruto believes that if he can't bring Sasuke back to the village, then he wouldn't be worthy as a Hokage. If Naruto can't...
That's a horrible mindset. Because you can't. This is a person with their own autonomy, with their own things that they're going through. Sakura did literally, she was obsessed with Sasuke. Did not know about the Uchiha massacre. Stupid, but we gotta accept that. So Naruto, who's not cracking open a book to see who his parents are, he's not gonna know about that either. So he doesn't really understand what he's going through other than his baseline. He was lonely, he didn't have parents, blah, 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 all this other bullshit. I know how you feel, the
he's darkness. He's not connected to some other orphan that's just around the area.
So he doesn't really know how he feels, so you can't do that same talk no jutsu. Well, outside, you shouldn't have been able to because
there
he literally did. But the whole, if I can't do this...
But we're the same though.
But yeah, there's also that. But this isn't a physical thing that you're going through of just like, I gotta beat my time in running or something. This is, I need to change this dude's mind.
Yes.
And it's perfectly acceptable to just not be able to, especially when it's just like, yeah, we're putting a hit out on him. Next time it's kill on sight. And while you're sitting there, he could already be dead. And it's like, well, I tried, and there's literally nothing I could do because the third Raikage just came off and beat his head off.
Now, you don't tell children that a bunch of people were massacred, but it should be in books or taught.
Yes.
It's not like a parent just like, let me sit you down. There was a massacre that happened. But school should be teaching these things. I know of massacres that have happened. I know of massacres that are happening.
There were school children who were Uchiha. And now they're not coming to class anymore. What do you tell those children who had an Uchiha friend? When they come home from school, it's like, Ricky Uchiha ain't come to school today. It's like, tug scholar. You gotta say something. The first
Ricky Uchiha is crazy.
The first Hokage, his greatest enemy was an Uchiha. The village was built by those two people. They've got a statue of these two people. Mm-hmm. Uchiha, who's that? Oh, there are these people that were over there and now they ain't here no more. Turn the page. And we're moving on. No, you gotta put it in a, because children learn about wars and the Civil War and stuff like that. So you need to tell them about these things. It's just like, hey, yo, these mubs was getting uppity and they had to go.
It'd be like if in 10 years in Naruto, like his children didn't know about the Jinchurikis.
Thousand Master Sman Slayer says,
or the attack on the village.
Sasuke, we breathe the same air, my friend.
Or the Hyuga not learning about the brain exploding.
Because it's done.
Because it's a bad thing. No, you need to teach these people. This is history for the village. The Uchiha are ingrained in the village. And they're ingrained in Konoha. You can't just erase them. You can't just like, they all moved away.
They went to the farm upstate. Can we visit? No!
And they were also the police force of the Uchiha.
I guess that's why Jiraiya needed to go out on all them S-ranked missions. They ain't got the police no more.
Or even showing off the other villages like, we do this to our people. What you think we gonna do to you if you step up? You saw how strong this month was. Kakashi got one of their eyes, and he's killing all y'all. And we beat them. Aight? Stay back.
I'm not reading that, Aries.
Can't keep an eye on the people closest to him, how can he keep an eye on an entire village? And I actually believe that Naruto goes on to state this multiple times. If Naruto can't earn the respect and love of the person he identifies as his first ever friend, how is he ever going to do that with an entire village?
But what about the people he was running around with as a kid? It kind of ruins that narrative.
So he's going, if I can't get the love and respect from this dude, I can't do it for the entire village. Hiruzen had the love and respect for the entire village, but he couldn't get them to not hate Naruto.
Yeah. But we are brothers who are both lonely. How sad _Neruha.
Neruha?
It is so sad. But even this dude who's been Hokage for 30 years and was in multiple wars, fought the Nine Tails, could not change the village's perspectives. But Naruto can, because we got a flash forward and he just did. Great.
And, well, sure, is that rational? Probably not. And would a rational person abandon Sasuke and just go on to lead Konoha? Absolutely. In fact, it would have been much easier for Naruto to abandon Sasuke,
What is
go
this?
Yeah, he did it before. His editor did it before.
catch him, kill him, and bring him back to Konoha as the traitor that he...
You should just crop out the edges of this if you're going to be taking the screenshots.
Why did the Sand Village agree to have Gaara as a Kazekage? Hey, that's a pretty good point.
Was because if he had done that, it would have aligned with the way that a lot of the people in Konoha felt, which probably would have fast-tracked Naruto to becoming Hokage.
You know, if it was just like, hey, this dude betrayed us, and he is kin of the strongest dude, and he's mob that we thought were a problem, so we got rid of him. If you bring back his head, instant Kage.
Way sooner. That's not who Naruto is. He's the person who wants to save everyone. He wants to reach out to every struggling soul and give them a place of rest. And Naruto identifies that Sasuke is a struggling soul, which is why he's so committed to bringing him back to Konoha, where Naruto would identify he could rest.
I'm sorry. So people got their own problems.
Legit.
You hold that.
Mommy, what happened to the Uchiha clan? Oh, they moved to the Sound Zone.
And we ain't talking about them. What they even learned in ninja school, they had to explain how missions and ranks were before Team 7 took their first one, and Sakura even explained chakra during the land of... Yeah, Sakura explained...
Well, to be the most fair, they explained it to Naruto, who's an idiot.
Yeah.
With Sasuke is
a fake terrorist.
a bit different. It doesn't align with wanting to become the Hokage. It's just that Sakura was in love with Sasuke. And while that love was unrealistic, once again, Naruto's love for Sasuke is unrealistic. So we shouldn't apply standards to one of them when it applies to both of them. But I do acknowledge that Naruto's love for Sasuke is unrealistic. But Naruto is an unrealistic kind of guy. Where this point
What do you mean by that? Please explain and explore why this is acceptable, because he's a quote-unquote unrealistic kind of guy.
This is me is this second paragraph. See, because they say, even in the series' final epic showdown at the end of the war that nearly tore the entire ninja world to shreds, Naruto and Sasuke finished things off with a battle so brutal that they're improving their growth in strength. Not only does it feel senseless, but also it's incredibly sad, reinforcing negative tropes talk before hugging it out. Did we read different mangas or watch different animes? See, to say that Naruto and Sasuke were battling against each other just to prove their strength ignores literally their entire characters. Naruto was battling against Sasuke to defeat him, to bring him back to the village, and Sasuke was fighting against Naruto to kill the one connection he has to this earth. See, Sasuke wanted Naruto dead because Sasuke understood that once Naruto was gone, he would be able to achieve his...
Not
Rakuto
really
says,
the only...
Is Naruto Sasuke's guardian or something? If I can't raise him properly, then I'm not a good parent. WTF is that goofy point.
Sasuke, that worked too well for Robot Lady. But the move that he's doing right now was taught to him by somebody. He has to understand that.
Yes.
So that is a connection in this world.
Correct.
Highest level of power.
Suck
Sasuke
my
understood
dick.
with...
That's my request to you.
How does he have any more of a connection to Naruto than Sakura?
Child, lonely, whatever. Brothers frolicking in the field. You saw that. Nobody else was there.
Naruto gone, he would be able to lead the village in the way that he would want to. Now, mind you, prior to that, Sasuke wanted to kill Naruto because killing Naruto would allow him to unlock his MS, but then he unlocks his MS in his battle against Itachi, and it's after killing Itachi that Sasuke's reasoning for killing Naruto shifts to, oh, I want to be the Hokage, but if Naruto's there, I can't do it in the way I want to. Yeah, absolutely. Could Naruto and Sasuke sat down, hugged it out, and talked about their feelings? 100%. But this is a shonen manga meant for young men who want to see two people fight. Is it the best way to go?
Hey, sometimes, even when I was a young man, I wanted to see a mother talk.
About getting their feelings out? No. Does it reinforce that men need to fight to understand each other? Maybe. But Naruto and Sasuke coming to work together.
There's no maybe about it.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, because they fight and then they just sit down and talk, and he's just like, dang, you was right this whole time.
If we had done this without the fight, maybe
blowing
our
arms off and standing in rubble of the two finger. Oh my dude. They should have just busted his house and just like, seriously?
Harry Spoon says, Kevin Uchiha Shar, Gan, they're god of my chest.
Yep.
We're not going to address that. Other than, I guess we are addressing that in a certain way. Big ups.
Together in the Fourth Great Shinobi World War was always acknowledged as a temporary fix.
Did he forget when Naruto talked to Nagato? But that was after big fight.
Just because they were working together to defeat Madara didn't mean their two ideologies didn't still clash. Which means that they...
And you know what happens when ideologies clash? You talk it out.
Yeah.
would need to clash ideologically or physically
Corey.
at some point.
Corey, there's no way that you actually believe that. Corey, there's no way that you really... I will choose to... No. Let them talk. But there's no way that I will accept that you're telling the truth here and not simply trolling. I'm just going to move on with the exception that he's trolling. Otherwise, my opinion of him drastic go down.
If anything, Naruto and Sasuke's fight teaches us about compromise, about changing your point of view on the world, about accepting people into your life even when you don't want to, about not giving up on those who seem lost, and so much more.
By punching them.
Yeah. So for Sasuke, what is it in his perspective? Mm-hmm. This dude wanted me to chill out this whole time, and he blew my arm off, so I guess I'm chilling out now. Because he was my friend the whole time.
Yes, except the terrorist.
From Naruto's perspective, it makes more sense of, I need to help this person who is drowning in darkness, and I'm the only person that can do this. Yes. From Sasuke's, it's just like, this guy hurt me and forced his will upon me.
Reading is toxic is absolutely one way to absorb that context, but I certainly don't see it.
Says, literally Naruto Sasuke IMU. Sasuke, damn, that's crazy, proceeds to attempt to murder him.
Yeah, we're the same. Like, no, we're not.
And then he gets beat down and just like, dang, I guess we are.
Thank you for being a terrorist for us, Sasuke. I understand that reference.
That way. About Naruto and Sasuke, let's get back to Gaara again for some reason, because our next gripe is, why did the Sand Village agree for Gaara to become a Kazekage? Gaara killed many people from his own village. Yes. And I don't even need to tell you what's written here. It's basically exactly what you think it is. It's that Gaara was a bad person. Why would he be elected as Kazekage? Yes. And there's like a dozen reasons. One, he was the son of Rasa.
But do you not understand there's a dozen reasons why people would not want him to be one?
Yes.
If the people can go against the Hokage by going, no, this child, when Hiruzen presumably did say don't do it. And if he didn't, that's even worse. But let's say he did say don't save this child, and they still did it. Mm-hmm. So they can go against them. The Hokage law is not just completely... we all just have to accept this.
And
they're not a dictator.
The Kazekage law like familial? Like, is it a lineage?
I think we looked it up and it was through blood.
Okay. Then yeah.
But also Kankuro.
Also.
Kankuro.
Yeah, Kankuro, Tamari. I understand woman, but
the wording was as intended.
And it appears as though in the Hidden Sand that the Kazekage role is passed down from father to son.
There's so many reasons why he's the Kage. It appears as though in the Sand Village is from father to son. So we can just throw that out.
Yeah.
Because we just have this lineage.
Kankuro's right there.
And Kankuro's right there. Kankuro's not his biological brother, really.
I guess they're all adopted.
Hey, what's the story there? Why is he...
Yeah. What is the story there?
Strongest person in the village, and his attitude massively changed after the Chunin exams. 3, there is literally...
Oh, no. The issue is that he massively changed after the... How do you showcase that more than what he was trying to do before by giving them the ball and then they shun him? How does he showcase that he has chilled out when he was already chilled and y'all made him not chill?
In the Hidden Sand Village, that the Kazekage...
What was... So...
Rakater says, Sasuke greater than Rekka.
So, Gaara stands out, and it goes back to the Kazekage. Kazekage was like, that wasn't cool, bro.
Yeah.
And then when Uncle killed that muff, and then
he
the uncle
cool no more.
Yeah, we sick of him. We'll figure it out later. But you kill him now. And then the uncle goes to try to kill him, doesn't kill him. Gaara comes back, just like, what's the conversation there? Hey, you tried to kill me, but hey, I guess I'll be your weapon. And don't worry about me trying to kill you. Or, hey, you killed your uncle? Perfect. That was the test. And you succeeded. How did he get him to do what he wanted him to do? Why is he cool with them when he sent somebody, a grown adult, to kill him? And he failed. And then Gaara was just subservient now? What happened there?
They said that the Sand Village sent 3 people to assist in the Rescue Sasuke arc. They sent the Kazekage?
He was not the Kazekage yet.
How not?
He was... Wait!
Yeah. No. How
No,
not?
he was dead!
Yes.
The Kazekage... Wait!
Yeah, and it's been weeks since then.
Baki was the intern Kazekage.
Who?
Their instructor with the half mask.
Okay, why doesn't he remain the Kazekage at this point?
Jay says, Kevin using Solar E to blind Madara for him to follow up with a Destructo E was so hype EE.
So yeah, there's a lot of issues with... I'm just now thinking about the conversation that would have had to happen.
Had to happen.
He's just like, okay, you tried to kill me, and you've taken away the only person that I thought actually liked me, so now I will do whatever you say? What was his conversation to his father? What was his father's conversation to him?
What happens if the whole family die? I have to assume like distant blood relative cousins or something.
No, the whole Sand Village just crumbles into sand. It was the blood lineage that was holding them up. Did the Sand Village ever have any sort of reaction to Oro killing their leader?
Not as far as we see.
Nope. And who cares?
Who cares? He's just a thing to be done to.
Yeah, no. This needed to happen for the story. Maybe they didn't even like the Kazekage. They were like, good.
But now they got Gaara. Monkey paw out of that one.
We finally got that Hitler guy out. Oh, here comes Saddam Hussein. Marginally better? Oh, but he's cool now, I guess?
Is always assassinated, and therefore, if some people wanted to get rid of Gaara, making him Kazekage made a fair amount of sense. Or when it comes to a morally upstanding community, I would say that the Hidden Sand is the Chunin exams. 3, there is literally a curse in the Hidden Sand Village that the Kazekage is always assassinated, and therefore, if some people wanted to get rid of Gaara, making him Kazekage made a fair amount of sense. Or when it comes to
pause. So, his dad was Kazekage from the time when he was a little kid, around 5 till now. So what are we talking about? 7 years or so? So this could have been 7 years of tyranny before he got assassinated. It's not an instant assassination. So you're just like, boy, I hope they get him. Cause these sand tariffs are killing me.
104% on Leaf Village. There are allies, though.
Morally upstanding community, I would say that the Hidden Sand is the lowest outside of maybe the Hidden Mist. And 5.
Paul, no. What evidence do you have of that?
On what?
You can't just say that. You can't just say, these guys suck. Oh, the Leaf Village, they suck. But they're better now. These guys, they suck. But they're better now under Gaara. You can't just spout this bullshit and just move the on. You aren't proving anything. We don't know about these people.
Who else was gonna do it?
Yeah, who else? I don't know, man. Whatever. Dang.
Are there no competent Sand Village ninja except these 3 people? These 12-year-old kids are the most competent Sand Village ninja?
President Trump's assassinated. Who else we got? I don't know. President Airbud. Get him in there. Who else are we gonna do? Get the dog in there. This not an argument.
The rabbit dog that's been attacking people.
Yes.
We get Cujo.
Who we got on death row? Oh, the murderer. Get him in there. Who else we got? He read a book once. Oh, that's Trump's cousin. He killed people, but yeah, it's lineage, I guess. A grain of sand costs 20 leaves now.
Airbud is so fire.
Sure. There ain't no rules against the dog being president.
Don't think you should say Trump is assassinated. In Minecraft.
Bro, Tamari? Gaara is the oldest of the Sand siblings, so it would make sense that he would be elected as the Kazekage. Yeah, he killed people. He's
That's crazy!
Yeah, he killed people!
It would make sense that he becomes the leader. Yeah, he killed people!
Yeah, it makes sense that he would become the leader. You gotta have a choice between a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old murderer. So of course you're gonna go with the 16-year-old murderer,
No,
oh no!
Is the youngest.
Oh no!
I forgot he is
Oh
the
no,
youngest.
that's bad. That's bad.
Gaara is the youngest of the siblings.
No, that's bad. We can't. It's fine. He's not. He's
makes sense that he would be elected as the Kazekage. Yeah,
Our Kazekage. Wait a second. You said that it was passed down through blood. Now they're elected, sir. It can't be both.
people. He's a ninja. They all kill people, and sure,
No,
own people.
there is a difference between killing somebody in the line of duty and murdering people to get your sand wet. Cause that's all that my sand is crying for blood. That's what he was saying.
Vampire bat.
He is using his position as a ninja for an excuse to kill people.
some of them were members of the Hidden Sand, but that was out of his control. Tie that into the fact that that situation
That's
was
not. You can't.
So why would you want the guy who went out of control and
just kills people
to be the leader of your village? So when moms are like, "Sir, the sand tariffs the people."
Sand coffins, the lot of them. It's like when Voldemort was just like, and Tiara was taken, and he just took out the entire room. He's just like, nobody survived. He's like, sand tariffs, dead room. It's like, well, this is what we wanted.
Rick and Morty, where it's just like, raise your hand if you're not a fan of the sand tariffs. Just cough it. Anybody else?
So this mob legitimately is just like, yeah, they kill people, they're ninjas. And yeah, he killed his own people, but it wasn't his fault.
But who else could do it? The person that might be a year younger than him?
Who amongst us hasn't sand killed
Someone would be
people?
a great leader of the Hunter Association. Yeah, he wants to touch kids, but did you see how?
Yeah, that mob got them hands.
And they're on them kids' butts.
And we just have to accept that. Because who else are we going to get? It's the Sand's fault. The Sand whispers to him. Yeah, I don't want him as president if Sand is whispering to him to kill people. Tariffs. Did that mother say Sand tariffs? No. Is that a thing? I don't want him. Yeah, but who else are we gonna get? That guy next to him?
The guy that taught him, his mentor.
No. He's a year younger than him, and that guy, he can't do it.
His sister seems more competent.
She's a girl,
and level.
And we the sand politics don't allow for women.
Is there something written there?
I can write it now, right now for you, real quick. Are you changing laws on the fly?
We used to have a leaflet, but it's $20 now.
Yeah, it used to be written down, but it blew away. They're constantly writing sand laws and rewrite. Like, what did that last one say?
There's just one dude in a room just constantly having to write just shifts of sand.
Don't slam the door. No, my sand constitution. We hold these sand truths to be sand evident.
I guess for the next hour, they aren't 3/5 of a person. Slaves back on the market, boys. You got 1 hour.
We chiseled the enslaved thing in stone. That ain't blowing away.
Or is it?
Forced upon him by his father, who's dead now. And the idea of Gaara becoming Kazekage not only makes sense, but also was pretty much the only logical choice the Hidden Sand had to make.
We don't know that. You can't say that.
We don't know how strong the next who the number 2 strong dude is in the Sand Valley. And if they're emotionally stable enough and mentally well enough to do this.
We have the most baffling out of all of these complaints. The filler episodes did not contribute to the main story.
Yeah, this is worthless.
Ton of useful information over the years. So yes, they actually do contribute to the main story. Not all of them, but a fair amount of them. But don't worry guys, we're not done double dipping because apparently we're going back to Sakura with our second to last gripe. Sakura's character was not necessary. She was relying on Sasuke and Naruto most of the time.
I don't agree with this point, so there's not really much to...
Yeah.
Fourth Great Shinobi World War. So the only Sakura worth need to be fine in the story is not an clock, is the world and all a not reference to the find a way out. With our 15th and final gripe of this article, how can the creator of Edo Tensei not find a way out? Tobirama created the jutsu and did not know how to get out of it. And this is obviously a reference to the fact that when Orochimaru brings Tobirama and Hashirama back to life, Orochimaru identifies that Hashirama would be able to break out of the jutsu, but Tobirama not so much. And unfortunately, this idea is once...
And this was also a very bad version of that jutsu because they came back with like 0.5% of their power.
Again strengthened when Madara is able to break himself out of the control of Kabuto by doing the hand signs of Edo Tensei. So how is Tobirama, the creator of this jutsu, not able to break himself out of Edo Tensei one of the 2 times or both times that he was brought back to life? And the answer for that is incredibly simple. See, the answer lies in the differences in how Kabuto and Orochimaru go about using Edo Tensei. See, Kabuto brings as many people back to life as possible and then gives them a simple directive that they have to accomplish. Kabuto believes this to be the better way to go about using Edo Tensei because it allows for people to use the knowledge, techniques, and abilities that they've gained over their lives to the fullest of their abilities. However, Orochimaru does not go about using Edo Tensei in this way. They go about using it by completely controlling whoever they bring back to life. At least that's...
Okay, so...
At least that's what?
How they used it prior to the Fourth Great Shinobi World War. And they're...
Okay, so in neither time he broke out. So...
But also... If it's that in that way, why would their memories be there? If it's just a simple directive, but you can remember all this, like, can you not stray from your directive?
Narrative.
And for the reason that Tobirama couldn't use the hand signs to get out of Edo Tensei is because Orochimaru didn't make him use the hand signs to get out of Edo Tensei. As to why he didn't do the hand signs to break out of Edo Tensei.
No. So did he each time just go, okay, use the water bullet jutsu. Okay, use the water mist jutsu. Or did he just go attack him?
Use the sand terrace.
Sand, don't stop whispering to me.
Rakuto says, he didn't break out of it because he was in it for the love of the game.
I mean, that's as good a reason as any.
Second time he was brought back to life is because he wasn't being controlled by Orochimaru. Orochimaru brought back the four Hokage with the directive of helping Konoha, something they all would have wanted to do. And therefore, there was no incentive for Tobirama to break out of Edo Tensei the second time around. It's literally that.
But let's say that there was a sand person that was in trouble.
Let's just say
that there was a sand person in trouble. Could he help them? Go out of his way to help them? I don't know. If he was outside of the control, he could. But if he now is not necessarily helping the Leaf Village, you could say this helping because it adds one more person to the army. Yeah. But, you know, you're adding all everything there.
If he could have, he would have broken out of it. But Orochimaru was controlling him with his mind control tag. Something that Kabuto doesn't use because Kabuto lets people have free will so long as they're trying to accomplish the directive he told them to do. Which gives Madara free reign to hit as many hand signs as he wants, including the ones that would break him out of Edo Tensei. And thus with gripes like these, sometimes the answer is just read the manga or watch the anime more closely. It's actually that simple. But that's the thing about Naruto. It's not a perfect story, and it doesn't have to be. The beauty of interacting with life as a whole is acknowledging its flaws and still loving it regardless. And that very same principle applies to Naruto in the fullest. But I'm curious to hear from you guys. Out of these 15 gripes, which one do you agree with, and which one do you vehemently disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. Why, because they're down there, please, for me. Like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that notification bell. You guys notice how...
So, they pop out of the, let's put it up on screen. It's chapter, please tell me what the chapter is. 118.
Is what?
Chapter 118.
118.
I like how you just went in color.
Yeah, no, I'm not. If color is available, I'm going color.
Jay says.
What was it?
Once you go
23 time.
What was it?
118. I was gonna make a joke about once you go color.
Yeah, I do. I was thinking the same joke,
but you've ruined it.
It is what it is.
Ruined my funny.
It is what it is. Sometimes.
Hall of Fame also, because dude was just making up bullshit.
What do I need?
Right here. So yeah. Go down. They're just talking. Long time no see. They're just talking. Acknowledgement. Reanimation, huh? That dude over there summoned us. So they're in control. And now he does it. All this time he could have just put up his hands and just went boom, boom, boom. I'm free.
Yeah. No.
So no. He had all that time to release it. He recognized that it was reanimation. And he just went, there's something about to happen.
We're not doing T23 because we actually have to record the next episode. But we do have homework. I feel like I'm going to do the first part of my homework next week because I really got to think on it. And an hour to do so was not enough time to get my thoughts out properly.
I gave it at a proper time.
I woke up at 10:30.
That's on you then. Yeah. I sent that mug at... Oh, yeah. Whatever. I sent it at 7 o'clock. Why did I send it at 7? That doesn't make sense. Shame they skipped over the third cough and oral summon and they had... And the problem Kishi wrote himself. Yeah. No, it was they was just like, yeah, he couldn't have been there anyway. So what was in there? Who knows? Who cares?
All right. So you can talk about it and maybe I could bounce off it, or we could just wait till next week for the what does quality mean when we're watching.
No, I was just gonna freeball that.
Okay.
So we can talk about that later then.
Yeah, I really want to get my thoughts out properly about that.
It's hard to really put that into words and stuff.
Yeah.
Ask these niggas about the fucking lollies.
And then, of course, there's always the lollies. Boy, that lolly episode is such a horrible episode, but my God, it's such a good episode.
Shrimp Dance is inferior to Naruto.
Good thing Shrimp Dance doesn't exist, because it's not in anything. So big ups.
Big the ups. You want to just do the Dragon Ball then?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. We'll have more homework next week. Dragon Ball arcs. We got top 5 best, your top 5, and your bottom 4. I feel like top 5 can just go quick. Did you put any in order?
No.
I didn't either. So we'll go back and forth on that one. The 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. That's the one with Jackie Chan where they kicked at each other, and then because his legs are longer.
I have the TN one.
Okay. Red Ribbon Army.
I have Battle of Gods.
And by the way, I only picked arcs that were in the show. I didn't pick any movie arcs. If it was a movie and it became a arc in the series, that goes in there. Namek.
King Piccolo.
Saiyan.
First arc, which is technically the Pilaf arc.
Yep, Pilaf was there until Saiyan Man. Gohan goes to high school.
That count?
As an arc? Absolutely.
It's short. Well, Jackie Chan tournament.
There you go. The bottom Aang ones, also not in order. Black Star Dragon Balls. And a lot of these of my bottom are because either I think they're really horrible, or I think there was so much potential there and they f***ed it up so bad. And that's what Black Star Dragon Balls is.
Android.
Cell. So
Boo.
Goku Black.
Goku Black.
Universe 7.
Universe Tournament.
There you go.
Yeah. That it just went on for way in too long.
That's a DA thing. Favorite Borderlands gun? Any game?
Dang, the gun that I'm using now.
You're playing Borderlands again?
I'm not necessarily playing it again, just playing because they got a big dungeon that is just like it goes on and on and on.
Oh, is it one of those daily you can, or it's just a forever?
No. It is just there is infinite dungeons, and each time they get like 2 times harder. So,
okay. This is
but you get better loot and stuff.
Let's see.
Roll them,
and also
bones.
If it's broken. Oh, the D&D one.
Avatar says, "What do you guys think of
Tina,
Steel Ball
no.
Run? Its anime adaptation was officially just announced today. I think it's a bit overrated, but a great part."
I think it's overrated, but I think there's so much good in it. The D&D one is the Tiny Tina.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great. I thought it was a D&D question. Looks like it is broken.
Yep.
Don't know what's going on with that.
Yep.
Steel Ball Run. I don't like Johnny or Gyro more than I like basically I don't feel much for either of them. And that's my biggest problem.
And I'm hoping the anime changes that a little bit for me. Maybe that pumps it up a lot.
The fights and stuff, I like. Loves me some Funny Valentine. Legitimately my favorite villain. Yeah. But it's just those two where I'm just and
it's got. I honestly believe the best time junk fight in the series.
It's good. It is good. And the spin and the fingernails are just not very interesting powers to me. It's a bit of a weird one where I'm just like, when they're on screen, they have to be fighting somebody that's really, really good. I love Chocolate Disco in that fight. I'm just like, my name's Chocolate Disco, here's my villain. It's just this big number grid. I love the first, like, what happened here? This person saw this, but this person saw a completely different. What happened here? You Funny Valentine is he gets stabbed in the neck and he's just struggling and puts a chair on him. It's like, what the is going on? And he's gone and he's so
in water drops and
it's like, oh, he's between the water and the ground. Oh, Funny Valentine is the Dio part 1, Dio part 3, and then Diego. That's my Diego.
I do like Diego a lot, though.
Yes.
I hated him. This is a spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hated him getting the world at the very end. It's just stupid.
Keep him with Scary Monsters, which is a fantastic name for the dinosaur stand.
Yes. All right, we're out of here.
Yep.
In like 2.5 hours, we'll be recording it for the episode that comes out tomorrow. Should we tell them what it is?
No.
Cool. Enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday.
Stop coming to these.
Stop coming to these.
Yeah, nothing to announce. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, but Triggs is talking about Tuesday for his video.
Racketeer says,
Hashtag
holy
ain't
shit,
happening.
YouTube really broke itself before even giving Death
Yeah,
a
no,
slip.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's completely
That's
broken.
completely nuts.
It's legit.
And it's not like 100 is the top, because I've seen mobs get wailed out with 50 at a clip.
Yeah, no. I think DSP had something like 600 members
Yeah,
at some point.
16,000. I mean, 1,600.
So, like,
Yeah,
legitimately.
no, it's weird. Is there like a plug-in that you're using for this?
No, because it would all just go to the YouTube. It's their systems, and it just reads the system.
No,
so
that's-
if this part was broken, absolutely sure. Like, it's not reading more than 100. I get it. But that's not what's happening here.
Did you get charged?
Yeah. And it's probably going to refund if nobody claims it.
Man, that's weird.
Dude, Simon Says be reading us. Complaint? Listen, it must have been saying complain to YouTube about it. The sand tariffs.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Curtain down.
Curtain down. I gotta go eat, and then we come back for the video we're doing, and then y'all do whatever y'all are doing. This is what we do. Stop coming to these.
Also,